don't tell me that this isn't real. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that this isn't real. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that this isn't real. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Broken hearts. free from living lies, free from my own deception, headed the right direction. I walk through the fields of mud. I thought I'd find a shelter in you, our perfect sky. Doors open, doors close in my heart again. Wonder how long it'll take till I kill the pain. Your walls between us keep me far away. There's no way back. Your heart is full of black. but you don't understand. I won't be here when you wake up again. You want an honest man, but you don't understand. I won't be here when you wake up again. You want an honest man, but you don't understand. I won't be here when you wake up again. You want an honest man.
I be that envious, knuckle-headed, backstabbing, no so petty. No way, there ain't no saving me. Boy, I be too selfish within my method. My tunnel vision so irreverent. Why would anybody pay my fee?
You got me red-headed, causing mad havoc. I'm that headache with a bad habit. Got no self-control. Boy, I be that mad hatter with them bad matters. Dag nabbit, causing mad panic. Would you say my soul? Is there redemption for your boy? Flesh only seems to destroy. See defeat with my ego deployed. Melodies with a cease be the void. Penalty of me fleeing his joy. Have to me when to cling to the Lord. Other half really bringing the war with the path with the pain that's in store. Finna bring when I bust to the floor. Man, I'm calling to the floor. Kid, I'm kinda keep a score on account of being kind of the floor. Oh no, that was this again. There that chip again. It's magnificent. This ambivalence might be the end to him. Spirit singing hymns. Flesh is seeking skins. Bring them violence. This game nobody wins. Giving it to every limb. I'm that villain. I ransack your village. Get my millions up. See you living. My skin turned vermilion. The plot thickens up. Corrupted mission. Headed to perdition. Minutes almost up. Lord, please listen. I need your forgiveness. Sick of messing up.
Envious, knuckle-headed, backstabbing, no so petty. No way, there ain't no saving me. Boy, I be too selfish within my method. My tunnel vision so irreverent. Why would anybody pay my fee? Is there redemption for a feeling? Oh Lord, what's the end for me? Is there redemption for a feeling? Yeah. Is it triumph or tragedy? Yeah.
Oh, wretched man, oh no, wretched man, don't get a dim advances. Pleasures of this world, they leave you wounded there without a bandage. Oh, wretched man, oh no, wretched man, don't get a dim advances. It is never over, no, my God's a God of second chances. Spent my whole life as a villain, wanna make this whole world mine. Drunk off the grapes, I was chillin'. Now I live attached to the vine. Cup full of rap or a glass full of wine. Walk the path where I pass to the light. Will a villain be a mask for the night? In the morning, will he pass on the fight and believe that his grace will suffice?
Envious, knuckle-headed, backstabbing, no so petty. No way, there ain't no saving me. Boy, I be too selfish within my method. My tunnel vision so irreverent. Why would anybody pay my fee? Is there redemption for a feeling? Oh Lord, what's the end for me? Is there redemption for a villain? Yeah. Is it triumph or tragedy? Yeah.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Elite Number Two's community coverage here for North America. My name is Proper. Joined with me is Cruz and Spaz, and we have a fantastic evening of the third day through Stage 2, and we're going to end up seeing some fireworks coming out of these matchups. We're starting off with Built by Gamers versus Subliners Academy.
Yeah, two great matchups hopefully coming on the stream today for the community stream. And I mean, I'm really excited for this Built by Gamers New York Subliner Academy team matchup. We got a very interesting map set to say the least.
Yeah, and that's for certain. This Built by Gamers roster currently sitting at 3-1. They are the top dogs, if you will, sitting at the top of the leaderboard. Would love to be able to have this win here. They've already beaten Aerial Rise in higher, both 3-0, and UT Crew in 4. Their only loss is to Easter, but it went to 5, and they still have to face Fantastic Four, which is playing with Draza in lieu of a few other moves that had to end up coming through in Wester tomorrow. So to have a tough matchups ahead of them, but a win over one of these great teams of Wester or New York Subliners would probably solidify them to be a top 2 team going in towards that playoff bracket. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our map set in this best of 5 series between Built by Gamers and New York Subliners Academy. Subliners Academy had a very rough start at the beginning of Elite. Number 2, you get Hydra to come in. Glow Frosty is no longer with this roster. Then you got a couple role swaps. They tried triple SMGs. It didn't work out. And suggestive of this, of all of this map combinations through all 5 map modes, Cruising, it's really starting to look like they're feeling a little bit more comfortable in trusting the AR lineup in between Spart and Hydra with all this Checkmate.
Yeah, in the Cup 9, they were definitely looking a lot more comfortable with everything. Interestingly enough, though, with this map set, I just got to say, Built by Gamers are coming into this. They are undefeated on every map mode combo. And then you look at the side of New York Subliners Academy, they have not won throughout the first 4 map mode combos that we have going into today. Only win coming on that Checkmate search, which, if we get the distance, will be our game 5.
Yep, and Raid Hardpoint will be that one difference, as well as the Moscow Search and Destroy for that map number 2, guaranteed to see that Checkmate control for map number 3. But what's it going to come down to for this Checkmate Hardpoint between these two teams? We are loaded in here, all ready to go for Checkmate Hardpoint. And again, like Cruisin has said, Built by Gamers are walking to this undefeated, but it's a very hard expectation to almost seemingly expect anything out of Subliners Academy, that they're only getting stronger with such a fine individual coming over from Europe, one named Paco in Hydra, to be able to see what they can end up doing on a match like this. Again, to be able to put themselves in a spot to be not only qualifying for stage number 3 and playoffs, as well as we have an unfortunate lobby crash. So that's why we are back to our faces and why we're not actually hopping into the game quite yet. So stick with us as we continue to vamp up this team.
Yeah, I mean,
these teams.
So I was just going to say, it's great to see BBG off to a better start in this stage, though, because last stage, what did they finish 2-5 towards the end of last stage? They finished in the bottom 2, so didn't even get a chance to play for the playoffs of stage 1. And so just the fact that they've already gone 3-1 and have already won more maps in this stage they can take as a victory, but they want more than where they are right now. They're coming out, they want to play with the fire. And then if you're looking at the side of the Subliner Academy team, when we saw them earlier this weekend, they played in that Cup number 9. They ended up going the full distance through winners, ended up losing in 2 best-of-5s at the very end of it. So they have definitely gotten a lot more comfortable playing together. Hydra looked a lot better than he did last week in the kind of AR flex role. And I'm excited to see the Subliners team and see if they can come in and hopefully pick up a win for themselves today.
Yeah, and if you were unfamiliar with that coverage, 4 out the Cup number 9, then they lost to Fantastic Four, back-to-back best-of-5s and grand finals, but they were looking dominant all weekend long. And keep in mind, this is not the only broadcast and coverage that you are getting for North America Elite this evening. Make sure you follow that link that is underneath Cruz's beautiful face there. It'll take you to the main channel where they are going through Fantastic Four versus Higher. It is 207 to 141 in their Garrison Hardpoint. And well, it's starting to look like Fantastic Four are still going to be that dominant team. We already knew that we were going to end up having Decimate come in for the unfortunate spot that Jimbo finds themselves in for their career. And then we also have Draza that is now playing in lieu of Standy, who just got the call up over towards Minnesota Rockers. So big things happening as far as North America challengers are concerned, and even going in towards Elite number 2, a lot of roster mania all across the board. We already talked about Hydra here with Subliners Academy. That then put Glow Frosty in a tough spot so that they go back to Wester. Paul gets called up to London. Parasite's no longer with London, so then you have the original Wester roster, the core 4 from Modern Warfare, they're playing together again, and then they end up losing Venom to 100 Thieves, and now you have Temp. So there's a whole bunch of things that's going completely awry. It's going mad. And here's the thing that kind of twists it all is that when you look at the standings and for the matchups that are going to be closing out Elite Stage 2 ahead of that playoff and knockout bracket, this could potentially be where teams like Higher, who also made a few roster changes coming in towards stage number 2, might be able to get a few map wins and not face relegation yet again, and might be able to have a better run in throughout that knockout bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. The roster mania was absolutely insane. I mean, just the fact that we see Temp on Western now is honestly kind of crazy too. I'm really hoping that once we see all these players that are coming from challengers going up into the major leagues, if you will, I hope to see them come out and just be very successful with their careers, especially the likes of Venom and even Standy. Standy played amazing during that cup number 9, and you got to think that probably is part of the reason why he's been able to move on up.
Yeah, again, it's such an awesome little trickle down system that we have, or even a ladder all the way up. I mean, that's the whole idea with the path to pro, right? You're able to make such a big name for yourself. Take Standy, for example, had a great year with Triumph overall, and even through Cold War, they have been a force to be reckoned with a sub in their hand. I'm sure they're going to do great things with Minnesota Rocker. We're still waiting for this match to be underway. Seems that we are getting a restart of a controller for Hydra, so we'll be getting into this one momentarily. We won't throw to a break quite yet because knowing every single time I've ever done that, given some circumstance like this, we'll probably load into the map almost immediately. But I think Subliners Academy are in a really interesting position. Again, not the greatest start in the world. They did end up beating Easter in 5 maps. If you're looking at the biggest head-to-head difference as far as who won, who lost between these two teams, remember, Built by Gamers did lose to 5 against Easter, and they were able to beat UT Crew, did Subliners Academy 3-1, but losses versus Fantastic Four and Wester, those might be just haunting you in your memories, given that you still have to face Aerial Rise and Higher tomorrow. You would think that those would be very winnable matches for Subliners Academy to not really worry about relegation, but you're mostly looking at that second place of Fantastic Four. They are in a 2-way tie, push or pull, a little bit of a map differential between them and Easter. And to be able to qualify for the knockout bracket and not face relegation would be in a great spot, given that you've already been able to start here in Elite number 2 without even qualifying.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Both these teams are coming out. They want to get a win tonight. I think just going into this first matchup again, I did say Built by Gamers, they've won every single game and map and mode that we have going into today. So they are 1-0 coming into this Checkmate hardpoint. They were able to beat UT Crew 250 to 154. But then if you look over to the side of the Subliners Academy, they did end up losing this map to UT Crew, so they're 0-1. But it's still a very close game, 250 to 223. And I mean, that was the first week with Hydra playing, so they're definitely going to be looking to come out hot here. And hot, they do come out indeed. They're already able to push on into the plane, and they do currently hold on to these spots for P2.
All right, here we go. Checkmate hardpoint, North America Challengers. Woo, I'm so excited, cruising. See what these teams have to offer, and so far so good. Subliners Academy, they push all the way through P1. That's actually a spawn out. You can see we're player number 1 of Spart, who's actually leading mantle of the main AR role now for Subliners Academy. They're just going to be posted up, watching the cross into plane. That A lane, it means everything for them. But Pro Loot inside of the plane is doing wondrous things. It's on a 3 spree right now. Diamante shots through the wall, no problem. Subliners Academy are being met over by P1, but they have 35 seconds in the rotation to new.
I mean, they did a great job of getting 40 seconds off of this first hill pretty much, and now they hold the spawns for the next hill. You're going to see Built by Gamers now try to make the rotation down towards this bottom right-hand side of the minimap so that they can force the spawns of New York Subliners Academy towards that top right side of the minimap, and then eventually hope to win some gunfights and spawn them out. But at the moment, it just all the gunfights are going in the way of the New York Subliners Academy. They're spawning Built by Gamers out so far, and Built by Gamers are just continuing to have to run across the entire distance of the map just to even get close to this hard point right now.
35 seconds remaining, so you would think that Built by Gamers are giving it one good scholar's try to break in here. Pentagram trying to create a very unique flank, but the hits through the front is not successful. 25 seconds remaining. It is all yellow in the kill feed so far, and as far as the score disparity, yeah, Subliners are looking pretty good. Past the 60-point lead for Subliners as we start to focus towards the middle of the map for new.
And yeah, neither team really going to have a great setup here so far. Around 10 seconds left on this hill. Built by Gamers will absorb the remainder of that, and that's going to be the first little bit of time to be able to get them over the 10-second mark. Actually, never mind, they do end up hopping out of it. And now they actually have a little bit of a setup here for the new hill. They are going to be set up on the plane, and I mean, this is one of those hills where you can get a decent amount of time off of now. We're starting to see teams learn how to play this map a little bit better. They've started to be able to get more time off of this P3 hill.
Pentagram 2-7, 3-7 now. Not exactly a great start to them, though. Historically, even when they were playing with higher at the beginning of the Cold War season, really struggled with this map mode combo. But we'll have to see if BuildBot Gamers can really start getting that fortitude that Cruisin was talking about. Teams are starting to get better, and it mostly comes down for your ARs and your flexes, especially with that QBZ in Pander's hands, to keep these longer lines of sights at bay for New York Subliners Academy, to not let these subs get into your ranks and flip you out. And the kill feed is coming up in a beautiful pink, which means that BuildBot Gamers, they're winning the gunfights pretty darn convincingly. Just one good last hit is going to come through. 10 more seconds before we rotate to that northern lane. And with Subliners Academy, they actually have the presence on that north lane. Player number 2 of Hydra actually spawns close. So they were actually going to have a pretty nice spread of things, given that BuildBot Gamers got to break in.
Saints gets a little bit of a spawn out, though, but all that's going to do is set up a little bit of a pinch that he can do from underneath the plane now. And actually, all 3 players, though, that were for the Academy team towards the side, they are going to fall. So, unfortunately for the New York Subliners there, they do fall, and now early time is going to go the way of BuildBot Gamers.
Oh, jump shots, Hydra 10 HP. Is able to walk down that kill onto Pander. 3-for-1 trades means that Subliners feel the ante to start making their way towards the hill. Pro Loot, nice help there to keep Sparta alive, but Sparta, as soon as they turn the corner, will not only lose their life, but that'll be a team kill. Pro Loot really wanted that trade indeed, but it doesn't even matter because Subliners Academy, they will be here, scrap time down and by P4 until we go over towards P5, which is down to the bottom south side of your map, exactly where Pentagram is starting to rotate on over towards. And for BuildBot Gamers, you just want to zone away all of Subliners Academy. Just keep them trapped where they are. But Saints, through the inside of the plane, has a nice angle. Is able to lock down the shots on the Pander. Could be an opportunity for them to move forward, but Kismet inside the hill has different plans until Hydra finds the trade, and P5 pops. BuildBot Gamers will be there for the initial time.
So really this break and this lead right now from the Academy team has really just been built off of P1 and P2. They've got a majority of their time in those 2 hills, and really ever since then, it's been majority of the time going to the side of BuildBot Gamers. They are set up now looking to try to get a money hill win of their own here, but Prolude has something else to say about it. He's able to find 2 through the middle of the map. He's trying to push in through wood just to see if he can get anything going really right now, but it's all built by Gamers, and they're just doing a great job of holding on to this spawn and just running up the score. They should be able to tie this game up.
Yeah, you get that window position inside of wood, plus you can continuously spread over by red. Just a really good setup, and it's not like they're doing anything too crazy. BuildBot Gamers are just putting them in spots where they can take advantageous gunfights, and they're coming out on top of them too. It comes down to a few brisk magic moments for Subliners Academy, but that's a leap swap there at P5, and like Cruiser had noted, all the way through this first set of hills, Subliners Academy, they got their majority of time off of P1 and P2. So in towards the second set we go. Just about a 20-point lead in between these 2 teams. But Subliners Academy are looking to work themselves to the middle of the map. Pentagram will be traded on out. Subliners Academy will be here for the time.
I feel like we've seen this story through the first set of rotation. Subliners Academy, look at them stacked up inside this plane, holding down for a good amount of time already. We'll see if they can shut down this push again, but they are once again set up on the right side of the minimap to have these spawns for P2. But Pentagram, he's got something to say about it this time. He wants to shut down this push, at least stop the Academy team from getting so much time on this first hill and being able to string it into the second hill. A little bit of a flank play was starting to come on through towards that top side of the mini-map, but it gets shut down again. And, I mean, as we're looking to rotate over towards this next hill, it should be Subliners Academy again with an early setup.
Good contested time here, not allowing Subliners Academy to get too comfortable inside of this plane. Semtex will take out Spart for sure. But still, it's those spawns, that rotation over towards New. Off of the first set of hills, this is where Subliners Academy were able to get a hefty load of time. The spawn actually occurs. Yeah, Hydra is actually spawning all the way out over by Tool. So this is going to be a pinch. I don't think the BuildBot Gamers are going to be able to read this. There's so many different corners you got to be aware of, but Saints and Spart, they find 2 from the front. The push is going to be successful, but the spawns won't be fully upset. Now here comes Hydra on the flank. Crick 6 in hand. Again, taking on this role, notably through EU Challengers, a disgusting sub. But any role they are starting to learn, and even off screen they have a gunfight going in their way. Nope. They're going to end up losing that as the hit for BuildBot Gamers coming through the front. We'll finally see a break over towards P2 and 35 seconds left inside.
Yeah, Spart's going to go to the back, though, to clear it out. This should at least give spawns towards the Subliners again, but as I say that, he falls as well. So now Subliners have to play this hill from the front. This P2 has been much more contested than we saw the last time through. And really, it just looks like BuildBot Gamers just do a much better job here. They are able to flip the spawns out, get inside the hill, and this should have matched them at around 190 seconds at the end of this hill. And now we got to see if the Subliners Academy team can do what BuildBot Gamers did the first time through. Built by Gamers got almost no time on P2, but were able to hold P3 for at least a good 30-40 seconds. Subliners Academy, they need to answer back with a good hold here.
Yes, they certainly do, and still holding on to the west side of the map. That's the one gracious part about the break that Built by Gamers were able to hold over towards P2, but what can you do with the power spawns that are granted off of those spawns? Answer, not so much, because you keep fetting Pentagram, who's finding 2 kills after double kill, and why not make it another 3 streak for them? 20 and 18 off of a very slow start, looking so much better through the end of the first set of hills into this very moment of time. Built by Gamers will eclipse past the 200-point mark. No, not so fast. Proloot with a very quick 2-piece has some help with Hydra to be able to push past the middle of the map. Just got to be worried about player number 5. That's Kismet. That makes a play through the north lane. Nice trade for Proloot, as you want to keep presence on this north lane ahead of the rotation.
I will say, I've seen the Subliners Academy team make some incredible comebacks this weekend in that cup number 9. If they're able to mount another one here, I mean, I'd be flabbergasted just because of how good they've been. But they are in no means out of this game. They have the setup going towards this next hill. You can see Proloot's just trying to sit in a corner. He's going to jump out and contest that player who got RX, who was just trying to contest from the right side. They are zoning out the side of Built by Gamers and continuing to make them spawn. But the side of Built by Gamers, they do have plane control, and that could help them out so quite significantly while trying to remake this break.
It's all about those cross angles, but it doesn't even matter about said cross angles because you're just losing the battle through the north lane. Pander finds 2 with the QBZ on board with Kismet with the QBZ. He's able to find Spark. That is a convincing kill feed if I have ever seen one. 215 and racking up the seconds. Hit through the plane. Gonna be a trade. Now it's up to Saints. What can you end up doing? Now on board with GodRx, has Spark right in front of him. Yet another convincing kill feed for Built by Gamers past the 230-point mark to the 158 of Subliners Academy as we look towards the rotation over towards V5.
Yeah, this is not looking good for the Subliners Academy team. You guys need to try to make a rotation over towards P5, and this has been the best hold that we've seen Built by Gamers have through that first rotation. No, they don't have as comfortable of a setup as they did the first time through, and there we go. The kills come through, but player number 5, Kismet, from the top of the plane, he's able to find 1, and that might just be the final nail in the coffin for Built by Gamers.
Well, yeah, I mean, the entire hardpoint is going up towards the game clock. You just need 10 seconds if you're BBG to close it out. You got the close spawns. The break is coming through the front. GodRx is stuck past tools. Pander over top of the half wall of wood will be able to keep their life for the time being. Subliners, they're able to find presence here from the front, but to say you got to play flawless hardpoint, that doesn't even kind of accentuate for how clean of hardpoint you truly got to play. But Hydra finds 2. Saints, another. A clean kill feed for Subliners Academy. And soaking up the rest of this time, they'll push themselves past 200 points. But then you got to start focusing for the rotation into the plane.
And, I mean, if you're Built by Gamers, they don't even look like they're going to take another shot at this. But if they choose to, they could probably get the rest of the time and win, but not going to be the case. Subliners Academy team are going to have to now break into this P1 hill inside top plane. It's going to be a very tough break.
It's going to be tough to say the least, but Built by Gamers, they're being pushed all the way back. Subliners Academy, they're winning the gunfights. The resurgence with only 9 seconds to close out the game is massive. And yes, New York Subliners Academy and Built by Gamers can still close it out on P1. You can see GodRx through the X-ray. They're still focused for that P2 hold, but it's got to be a cross angle. All the focus for New York is inside the plane, and they're holding firm.
Yeah, but if this does end up going the other way, Built by Gamers, they only have to contest for a few seconds to keep the Subliners Academy team from winning off of this hill. But I mean, Subliners Academy right now, they're doing such a great job of just stopping them from being able to contest and zoning them out. And that's another 3 down, and they can still win on this hill proper.
Yeah, 18 seconds, 238 to 241. Now about to be a lead swap coming on through. Kismet, I don't know how the heck you won that gunfight versus Proloot, but it comes their way. Now the fight underneath the plane. Hydra's able to find Kismet now inside the plane. Pentagram takes down Saints. Now Built by Gamers are inside the hill. New York Subliners, they have broken. There's enough time to close it out here. Smart with the contest. Is there the ghost second? There isn't, so the rotation towards New is needed. New York Subliners are here. The fight inside the yellow crate. Great help from Hydra is going to keep Proloot alive. 249, 250 has been reached. Subliners Academy ripped the rugs out from the feet of Built by Gamers on the opening hard point.
Oh my god, 250 to 248. That whole end sequence is started because Subliners are able to close them out, and then you have 2 players on the Subliners push out through the front of the plane, find 2 kills for the rest of the players on BBG, which forces them to spawn out wood at the old hill, and Subliners are able to just take full advantage. That last little contest by Spark to stop the BBG from being able to win on that first hill, because they still could have won. That last little contest literally just won New York Subliners the game.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's anybody that deserves the pat on the back for that one, it's definitely Smart, but also a heads up play to be able to recognize and trust that Smart is going to be able to make that contest through that wing onto P1. Then Subliners found the rotation over towards New. I mean, that's just crazy because the first set of hills, it was like a 70-point lead at the beginning of the game, built by gamers on the end of the first set of hills, and going in towards the second, were in a commanding fashion. But then the script gets flipped. And then at the end of the second set of hills, Subliners Academy, they're able to keep P4 contested. Then they're able to break P5 from the front and keep Built by Gamers stuck inside their spawn. That's just wild. And Built by Gamers, you got to somehow wipe the sweat off your brow because going in towards a search and destroy. Take a look at the best of 5 map set that we have in front of us. It is Moscow Search and Destroy, and like Cruisin had already suggested, this is a map that, again, much like every single one that we're playing here, except for the Checkmate Search and Destroy, they should feel more than comfortable on.
Yeah, so I mean, BBG 2-0 coming in on Moscow Search and Destroy, and then you look to the side of the New York Subliners, who are 0-2 coming into it. I do believe, though, in the grand finals, I did see them pick up a win on of that last cup number 9. I do believe the Subliners were able to pick up a win, so that's at least good for them there. They do have the reps in on this map, so by no means are they out. They were able to just win that last hardpoint, and hardpoint has been one of their worst looking modes through the second stage. So I mean, I think it's just really going to come down to if they can play together as a team, just team challenge. Because I feel like that's what Moscow is really all about, is just retaking those bomb sites and playing together as a team.
I'm still just so shook. I'm still like trying to catch my breath. Like, I think that in between all of that, not only has my cat woken up from his nap, but I'm also at least 10 degrees hotter inside this room. And it's not the soft boxes. This matchup has the fine workings of every bit of potential. Again, Subliners Academy walking in towards this week cruise, and you have Hydra comes across the seas. Subliners proper, the main roster, has a great run through major number 1. So now what do you do with Hydra? It's a no-brainer. Obviously, they go play with the Academy roster. And again, you lost your main AR. The biggest cry and the biggest woe so far for a lot of fans, a lot of other analysts, coaches included, look at this Academy roster and they're just saying, well, how are you going to do this without a main AR? Spart is nasty enough to be able to play that main AR role. And I was talking about this on a podcast with Infinity, and the thing that makes Hydra so special, that if they are the next Simp, for example, or the next Scump, right, then they should be feeling comfortable at the brisk age of 19 that Paco can pick up whatever role is more than necessary. And what a better way to be able to feel out the competition, plus get more adjusted to the North American play of all things than with a white-hot New York Subliners Academy roster. The triple SMG setup, it didn't work out. The adjustments are coming on all the way through, and you got to see that in fine fashion, especially with how close that hardpoint just was.
Yeah, I think he's adapted to the role of the flex player quite well. He looks almost like more comfortable now than he did last week for sure. But I just think he's obviously going to feel most comfortable on those maps where he can pull out that third sub. I don't think that this map that we're heading to right now, Moscow, is going to be a map where he's going to be able to. I would expect to see a QBZ or a Craig in his hand here, but I just think he's so good. It doesn't matter what he's running in his hand. He's just going to fry people.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, but then you also got to put in perspective, right? I mean, Moscow Search and Destroy. How many times have we actually seen a triple SMG setup just straight bull rush right towards that A site? Sometimes it works. It is that Hail Mary play that if you can find the team shots and you can find those gunfights to be a little bit more advantageous for you, then the offense can be able to quite literally Thanos snap your team in half. And that's what's really freaky for a team that is very comfortable, that has a main SMG, quite frankly, in Hydra, that is now playing the AR flex role. Keep in mind, apart from EU, that happened this morning, now over towards North America, the QBZ is absolutely in play. And Hydra did look pretty good with it in that Checkmate hardpoint, and warming up with it considerably for the role that they've been running a submachine gun their entire life. But and just to give everybody just a little bit of a follow-up for what's happening on the main broadcast. Again, you can find that channel link right underneath Cruz's webcam, and you're going to be able to see Fantastic Four are currently 2-0 up in their matchup, and that is going on versus Higher. They are currently loading in towards their garrison control to see if Higher can start a reverse sweep. It's very tough, again, at Fantastic Four roster, playing with Draza now as well as Decimate. Absolutely filthy roster on paper, but we got to get through this matchup here after a barn burner Checkmate hardpoint. If you're just now joining us, go back and watch that Checkmate hardpoint, because New York Subliners, again, just literally ripped the rug out from Built by Gamers, won by a solid 2 seconds. Now into the Moscow Search and Destroy we go, cruising. The stat line alone suggests that I should say it's all pink, baby, but I can never sell out Subliners Academy. They are just so creative.
Yeah, they've made so many adjustments to just get so much better. And I mean, it looks like we're already in a 2 versus 2 as we load on into the game. I'm not too sure either what team is on attack from this point on, actually, either. It's just because we're just kind of loaded on into this. But I would imagine that it's the side of the Subliners Academy who are on attack right now, just from map positioning alone. Looks like Saints is just going to be left alone here in a 1 versus 2. Bomb is down as well, so definitely not in a great spot.
Well, you would think, right? But Saints was that lone defender all the way over at A. Pushed all the way through.
Oh, okay. I was wrong.
It's built by, it
Okay.
was weird. But there was no pushback over by A at all for Built by Gamers. So Saints pushed all the way through, ran a lap, came back, grabbed a glass of water, and now they're expecting the push come through for B. They already cleared out A. Now the timing's about to be coming all the way through, but Pentagram was covering the angle from the door. So Built by Gamers will win the first round.
Yeah, able to take a 1-0 lead there, and I mean, it looks like they just got a big man advantage off the start. Oh, actually, we're gonna see the start right here. I mean, Spart was able to get a 2-man kill right off the rip there, so kind of a little bit of a choke around there from the Subliners Academy. Now that we get to see it in a broader perspective, but Pander starting off 3-0 off very hot here, and I mean, it's what we expect. This team of Built by Gamers is literally almost all former pros except for the side of Pentagram, so. They are a team that we would be expecting to play very good search and destroy, especially. Looks like a 4-person hit from the side of New York Subliners, just really spreading themselves out deep here. And I've seen them do this multiple times this week, and Prolude is just really going to sit back here and just try to watch while they try to get a pick over towards middle of the map. They find one, and I think now they're just going to hope that the side of the Built by Gamers are going to try to make a wrap out.
We'll have to see the type of wrap we're dealing with. Well, actually just going to commit towards this A side over by the Brickheady. It's going to be God Rex. Prolude hits it. It's going to be able to find that kill. So nearly unscathed. It's going to be Pentagram that gets the next immediate challenge. Gets some shots, not good enough for the kill. We'll read that there's another player over there. If you believe that was a trophy system that gave him that hit marker. But now in control over top escalators. Pander's going to try to hit this. They didn't fully check to the left side, and that means that Hydra's going to get gifted a free kill. Now it's all to Pentagram in a 1v3. He's going to get chased. Semtex is going to come down there. Pentagram just so stuck in the situation. It's going to take this opportunity to try to hit it through white, where Spart will be located at closer towards the pillar side. Opening shots will be good for both players, but yeah, you just got to keep your life. Wait for the double challenge to come through. Pentagram will find an isolated 1v1, but still down to 20 HP. They should be traded on out, and they are.
Just a clean round from the Academy team. They were able to just pick off that first player towards the middle of the map and then get the nice rotation over towards this left side. Godarex kind of got caught out with his pants down here as 3 players push on into him. And all that does is it forces the rest of the players on the side of Built by Gamers to have to push back into the back of the defense. And it basically gave a free plan for the side of the Academy team. And then, I mean, once Hydra was able to find that kill on top of the escalators, it just really made that round so much easier. Now he is on a 3 streak after that first round and looking to try to build some streaks of his own here.
4-player hit defensively for Subliners Academy all the way through the Metro. Pander's in a great spot to read this. And the QBZ is going to be good for that first blood. Now Saints will find a trade, but that's the information. They saw so many players through the middle of the map that Kismet just had to check over the escalators. That means that Kismet, plus that kill, will feel comfortable to drop that rock. Here comes Hydra from the top of escalators. Nice toss from Kismet. Will clear Hydra out from that top escalator position, and Spart loses their life on the opposite side, closer towards Fountains. Now Hydra stuck between a rock and a hard place, and in between escalators as well. They will lose their life inevitably. 2-1 goes Built by Gamers.
I can tell you, he definitely really would have liked to have had a sub in his hand for that situation there.
For sure.
Probably would have felt a little bit more comfortable. But I mean, again, just Subliners are just trying to throw something a little bit different at them on the defense there by running all 4 straight through mid. Unfortunately, does not work out for them. A pretty good hard counter coming in from the side of Built by Gamers. And I mean, it's a blind counter at the end of the day, too. They don't really know what Academy's going to throw at them every single defense. But I mean, it works out quite well for them in regards. But starting off on this offense now, the Subliner Academy looks very much of the same, sending just 1 player Prolude over towards this A site and sending a big split of 3 players over towards gold.
Oh, look at this position from Kismet right out front the window. I've seen players pop up here, and the hipfire has been godly to some. But here comes Saints, actually hits it, doesn't get the kill. Kismet better with the shot punch indeed. Pentagram up top will find Spart. That means a solo bomb carry here with Prolude. Will now have to come join their comrade of Hydra, who's under pressure right outside of the janitorial closet. They know where Kismet is located at. Got to deal with this player over by the Rusted Fuzz. Hydra will do just that. Krieg 6 is going to be the weapon of choice for Hydra this round. And well, now they're doubled up again with Bomb Carrier Pro Loop. But what do you do with this information? You got 42 seconds left to play. Got to commit to a side eventually.
I would imagine that it's going to be the B side with how much pressure they saw over towards A, but Panda is here and he's in the perfect spot to watch the cross, but unfortunately he gets beamed on the cross. And I love this play by the Subliners Academy team. You see Built by Gamers, they hear those shots come down, automatically start to rotate both players over towards B. One actually decides to stick it over towards A, but now he's got to deal with both these players from the Subliners Academy team pushing fast towards A.
This is going to come down to timing. Whether or not GodRx will find it, and he does. That's Proloot down, 12 seconds remaining. You gotta be able to lock down this kill if you're Hydra. GodRx for the final 2 in the round. The solo player just playing over by the Brickheady is gonna be good for the final 2, and a 2-round lead for BBG.
The trust that BBG has to have in GodRx and Panda, and Pentagram, just to both of them solo individual play bomb sites, because you never know with this tricky New York Subliners team. Just a solo play, keep one on one site, one on the other, and then just try to make a retake together. And then GodRx finds them both by himself. He doesn't even need the help. 3-1 lead here for Built by Gamers as they try to claw their way back into this series.
All right, so here we go. Down 2 rounds, Subliners. Previously sent 4 players deep through the middle of the map to no avail. 3 players actually strong towards that A site. Some information will be traded via Semtex as there's Pentagram throwing theirs. And it's just going to be a little bit of a bait play while the rotation from BBG comes across the Boulevard side.
Yeah, and I think Proloot's been the player who's sitting here watching the cross. Kismet might be able to catch a timing onto him possibly, but I would more so give the advantage in this gunfight to Proloot unless Kismet's able to just sneak up and in. Proloot, oh, he almost got some good timing there, but he's going to end up falling to Kismet. That's going to leave a 3 versus 4 onto the site.
Yeah, now in a 1v4 situation for Saints is just looking around. It's like, what happened to my team? Oh, the discipline! Oh, gets smoked! Gets absolutely dropped. 4-1 goes BBG.
What the heck was that? He was just kind of sitting in the corner. He didn't know what the heck happened to his team. Everybody just falls around him. And I mean, you called it out. The discipline to not shoot your gun in that situation. I'd be going nuts. I'd be shooting all over the place. But not going to be the case for Saints. But he still falls to 1-5. And I think you got to look at Saints and Proloot in this match right now. Maybe even Spart 2-1, 1-5, 1-4. Like they need to be better than where they are right now if they want to find success in Search and Destroy. Full 4-man hit coming in from the Subliners Academy team going towards this A site now.
Oh, here we go. Line them up. Pander with the QBZ has been lights out at 7-4. GodRx over by this Brickheady. Don't deal with them. They're the raid boss the entire time on this staircase. Map point for BBG.
I think we're starting to see why BBG is 2-0 on this map and the Subliners Academy team are 0-2. They just have an answer to everything Subliners try to throw at them. And it's just an individual play every single time that's winning them rounds, it feels like right now. GodRx is on 5 in a row as well. Like, he's playing for some streaks. So, I mean, even if they don't win this round, as long as GodRx is able to secure some streaks here, it could be huge. Built by Gamers have 4 submachine guns out right now, so they could be trying to get very aggressive through mid here.
Potentially just be that speed boost that we see some players using. Get to this position. GodRx using the sub. All map long. Line them up in the courtyard. Spartal was able to find a third on a GodRx who will finally find a trade, but now they're left alive in a 1v3 on a 6 spree. Would love to get this artillery strike. Those shots were not disciplined at all. To be able to get this streak would be able to be a certain resource nail in the coffin, if you will, for the upcoming rounds. Subliners, they know exactly where GodRx is located at, inside of the gold office. They will deal with them swiftly, so no resources needed at all, but you are clawing back from a very deep depth if you are Subliners in this search.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're up 5-1, like maybe play that a little bit smarter if you're GodRx. Like, just kind of just chill out, dude. Like, you guys are up 5-2, and you got a chance to get some streaks here to absolutely cement you guys in the map win. Yeah, you guys probably have a very good chance of winning one of these next 4 rounds. But I mean, it's just one of those plays where you would just love to see a player slow down and just like really play their life towards the end of that round. Again, it looks like Academy team is going to be heading towards this A site very quickly. Got to dodge these nades coming in over the top from Built by Gamers. Here's the difference, though. Spart is able to get towards this bottom catwalk, so that should stop GodRx from being able to get into that powerful position we saw him in last round.
All right, first blood traded on out. 3v3. pressure and presence here for A. Hydra rips the head off of Pander, who again has been having a great search and destroy. But Hydra looks to answer on back now. Got her X. What can you do? Absolutely not. Smart will drop them. Kismet gets slammed inside of the billboard area, and 2 rounds in a row for now Subliners Academy.
And wouldn't you love to have a streak at this point? It is, this could definitely get scary, man. Once the Subliners Academy team starts rolling, they're definitely a different beast. It's going to be, like you said, a tough hill to climb. They do have to win 5 rounds in a row, but I mean, at this point, you just got to take it round by round, very slowly. Just keep trying to win your rounds off, and if you can do it, and every team that is in this elite league has the capability of winning 5 rounds in a row. So this could definitely just be another great comeback story for the side of the New York Subliners Academy team. We saw how slow they started off in that first map as well.
Offense for BBG. We'll see an A push. Bomb carrier Kismet will be the second through. Can they get the trade after losing their commoner pentagram? Semtex won't take down Saints, so no trade is here. 4v3. Smart from the escalators will take down Kismet. They have a sub. Got our X is there for the trade. Can you find a second? Absolutely. 2v2 we go. For the site, the bomb drop, top escalators. All 4 players stacked up in and around this area. Got our X. Didn't look left before they looked right. Pander can't find the trade. Semtex to clear the area. Will actually find a trade or a hit marker on towards the flak jacket. Picks up to 74. You would love to try to make this play happen, but got 40 seconds left to play. Yeah, throw a couple shots. Just try to rotate on now. See if you can catch these players on the exit.
Oh, this could be the play.
Oh, the timing. Oh, Pander's good for the first on the Saints. Now 1v1 versus Hydra. They're so weak. 4 HP. Can't get the better of the second. 3 rounds in a row for Subliners Academy. So close to heading into a round 11.
Subliners Academy, baby. They are coming on back into this game. Goddard X definitely made it interesting there in that middle of that round, forcing it back into a 2 versus 2. But Subliners Academy able to come out away with it. And I mean, you gotta look back at some of those former rounds there where they choked some streaks. You got Hydra on 3 now. If Hydra is somehow able to find streaks here in this round number 10, and you get a round win out of the Subliners Academy team, could definitely spell disastrous for Built by Gamers. Bomb heading back towards the A site, and you have another 4-man stack here versus the 2-man for the side of Built by Gamers. But Goddard X is back in that spot again.
Just Goddard X in this position is at least good for 1, but pinstripe kill feed 2 for 2 trade, 2v2. Perlut will get the regen. Should feel comfortable to plant this bomb, but I respect this call to try to clear all the way out through white. No push, no rotation coming all the way through for Built by Gamers on their spawn side. See on board here with Kismet, they had worked their way all the way past P3, over by the stone bench. Might be able to find some timing, but they have a 74U in hand. Oh, the timing, they actually gave it up entirely to go back through the middle of the map. New York Subliners Academy, they feel more than comfortable with this plant, and they'll drop it here.
Yeah, Subliners Academy literally went and cleared out every angle that they could to make sure they could get this bomb down. Now they have it down in a position where they can watch it from inside this room and from that back alley. They have every angle covered. The nade comes through, so they know where the players are now. It's going to be a 2v2 retake.
Oh, Kismet will be good for the first now. 1v1. Prelude at full HP. Pander knows exactly where they're at. They're going to turn and burn. Prelude! The shot punch is better for Pander to win the 1v1, to find the defuse, to close out the Moscow search and destroy 6-4 and tie up the series 1 apiece.
That is a lot closer than the side of Built by Gamers wanted that to be. That definitely could have been going around 11 there, and we could have seen New York Subliners possibly take off 5 rounds in a row. That was just this is an insane series proper. I'm so happy to be here right now.
This is a great series to start off the evening here for the community fun that is being held here on IHOLDSHIFT's YouTube channel. And look, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, Built by Gamers, they're 3-1, have not really had the greatest history when it comes down to facing Subliners Academy. And that was even prior to the many different roster swaps. This is when they still had DC on the roster. This is when they had Glowfrosty on the roster. And now even with Hydra. But even still, what a pushback to keep it so close. Again, by no stretch of the imagination. Let's go ahead and take a look at the best of 5 map sets so that way you can really start remembering how tight this series really is. Just a solid 2 seconds meant the win for Subliners Academy on that Checkmate hardpoint. They won it 250 to 248, just literally within the final few seconds on a brand new set of hills with a mere milliseconds of contested time. They were able to close that out, and even for a few rounds, almost able to get a handful of rounds in a row. They were on 3, potentially to send us to a round 11 on Moscow Search and Destroy, Built by Gamers, showing us why they are indeed now 3-0 for the map mode combo. So now we move over towards Checkmate control here, cruising, and it's tough to even gauge again. Overall, Subliners Academy, this is their worst game mode through Elite 2 so far. They are 1-3 overall. But on the other side, Built by Gamers, looking pretty good. They're 4-0 on the mode.
Yeah, and I feel like the Subliners slow start. I feel like Control would be one of those modes that would be a little bit harder to get with adding in a new roster, especially when you're going through roster changes in general. So, or just role switches and just everything like that in general. So I can definitely understand why they are 1-3 right now, 0-1 going into this Checkmate Search and Destroy. And then you look over at Built by Gamers, yes, 4-0 and 1-0 on that Checkmate Control. But I don't think by any means that New York Subliners are out of this. And they're going to a map like Checkmate where it is going to be super defensive heavy. So it could realistically just be the first team to win an offense could win the map.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I'd like to say that just about every single raid map mode that we have until we get to raid, because that's really the only forgiving map when it comes down to offensive zone pushes and being able to turn that into your round win. But we have been able to see it before. Teams can really start get the ball rolling off that offensive push. If you can get that A lane in your favor, and the ARs are feeling comfortable, you got that blind trust that an SMG is able to win their 1v1. Say it's either Kismet, even if Hydra picks up a sub to start off this round 2, Pro Loot, or Saints, it doesn't really matter. That playing through the middle is going to have to be a blind trust for either of these two teams, regardless of the side that they start on. So that way the ARs can really lock down those lanes. It means a lot to be able to win the opening breakoff, both offense and defensive. Like defense wins the opening breakoff, they're then able to push all the way in towards the spawns and really start setting themselves up a nice little spawn trap. And it really puts the offense on their back foot. But if the offense win it, then the same thing could be said, and you can get yourself a really good life lead earlier on, which is really tough to do on a map like Checkmate.
Yeah, it is really, really tough to be able to get one of those to get a life lead, especially in offense. But if you're on offense and you are able to push the team into the back of their spawn and just really pin them back there, that's how we've seen most offenses won, especially on this map. It sometimes can be a double-edged sword. You can absolutely, as the defense, get a team in a spawn trap, but as the defense as well, you can be put into a spawn trap if the offense is playing as well as they really can. And I mean, the Subliners Academy team, they have the AR strength to be able to do something like that on offense on this map. And they're definitely looking to try to get a rebound here in Control. They want to prove that they are one of the top teams in this league.
Yes. And you said it right there. For both of these rosters, right? I mean, you look at Built by Gamers, again, a roster that when they had ended up getting Pentagram, moved away from Higher and joined the likes with Kismet, GodRx, and Pander, that throughout since about cup number 3, they have stuck together. I'm a big advocate for this too, and they have eluded the giant implosion that is roster mania. Again, mad props for those players that did get called up to the CDL, and some other of them are having better opportunities for some different challengers teams. Regardless of the matter, this Built by Gamers roster, they continuously learn. The vibe's got to be strong, given that you have not made any roster swaps, and there's a lot of VOD to go over for a multitude of different teams. I almost want to say, until you get down to some of the more interesting ones like Wester with these core 4 now playing together, you have no idea what that's going to end up looking like. Same thing for Fantastic Four. But, you know, for the Subliners Academy roster, for the core 3, you sub out Glowfrosty in lieu of Hydra, you can start to get a pretty good understanding for their means of practice for how they end up playing a map like Control. And some of those VODs might end up coming in towards the mix. And the same could be said about Subliners Academy, who, again, are still trying to note themselves as a top competitor here in Elite Stage 2. For North America. All the players are inside the lobby, by the way, if you're wondering why we're still sitting here vamping ever so wonderfully. Checkmate controls on the horizon for us here on the mainstream. I believe that their match had just concluded with Fantastic Four able to 3-0 full-on sweep Higher. So that's if you're a fan of Fantastic Four and you're a big fan of Draza and Decimate joining the likes of Sib and Dave, then they're looking pretty darn good, able to take down Higher. Higher still sitting at 1-4 now, are facing the potential of relegation, depending on how the rest of their matches go. They got to face UT Crew today, and, well, they actually got to face Subliners Academy tomorrow.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, too, to think, that Sib and Co. on that Fantastic Four team, they come off that Cup 9 win, they're feeling hot, and then you instantly get told the next day, hey, guys, I'm out of here. Standy gets the offer, so he goes up to the towards that pro team of the Minnesota Rocker, which I think is a great pickup for the Minnesota Rocker. And then you got now just the rest of them. They got to try to make it work. And I mean, I think Draza is a great pickup for that roster as well. Draza has been such a solid sub all year long. He won a couple tournaments with Insight, did he not, earlier in the year for the they were on that quote unquote Toronto Ultra Academy team, but yeah. And like the Toronto Academy team, that entire speculation actually ended up coming around with
Team Slammed, and then Team Slammed with Scrappy, Onyx, and co. They ended up moving away from playing with Coach Moach, and then they ended up playing with Insight, who was still on the bench for Toronto, and then Insight ended up forming this team called Pro Players, which still has a pretty good core from Easter, including Fellow. That Draza was on that roster too. They won the Cup, and then they were also able to win the Open too. So I mean, yeah, they have pretty good roster and pretty good players to be surrounding yourself with if you're looking at this challenger scene. And the same could be said, which is all of North America as a whole. So as we're still dealing with a little bit of connectivity issues, some players are not only taking a bathroom break, but we're also dealing with some players making sure that their controllers are all fine in working conditions. So we'll throw things to a very short break. When we come back, we'll have Checkmate control in between BBG and Subliners Academy. I lied. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie about me not lying. I ended up telling you there was a bathroom break and some connectivity issues. I couldn't end up seeing what was happening inside the chat. We're actually moving this match, this Built by Gamers New York Subliners Academy roster over towards the mainstream. So make sure you follow that link that is underneath Cruisen's face. It's youtube.com/COD Challengers. They will be hopping into this match where they will be going in towards that checkmate control. So make sure you go over towards the YouTube channel, show IHOLDSHIFT, Infinity, and Visions all the love in the world as they will tour guide you through the rest of the Specified series because it is going to be a barn burner. We're going to be throwing things to a very extended break. We're waiting for the rest of the first matches to conclude. The way that our broadcast coverage will end up going, we're mostly waiting for Easter and Western to conclude their matches. So that way we can move in towards that matchup. That's going to be a very fun one. So stick with us. Make sure that you follow or even just look at my Twitter. I will be putting out a post so that way everybody knows when that matchup will be going live. But for now, go over towards that COD Challengers YouTube stream, show some love, and just enjoy the match.
trying to come up with the highest of feelings, but there ain't nothing new under the sun, so you avoid to touch any of the cold waters, 'cause sometimes love ain't that thing you're afraid of. Show me a place where a face ain't worth the dime. I pack my bags and I'll be gone. Show me roads I must roam to get above all those waving hands I believe. Your vision's hard. It lightens up, it wear away and be taken apart by something wonderful. So you try to come up with the highest of feelings, but they say there ain't nothing new under the sun, so you avoid to touch any of the cold waters, 'cause sometimes love ain't that thing you're afraid of. Your vision's hard, it lightens up, it wear away, be taken apart by something wonderful, by something wonderful, by something you gotta get into the groove.
don't understand. I won't be here when you wake up again. You want an honest man, but you don't understand. I won't be here when you wake up again. You want an honest man, but you don't understand. I won't be here when you wake up again. You want an honest man.
myself in a cold place, dark maze, just smoking dust in my face.
I'm scared of death, can catch my breath.
I feel alive denial, so wild. I gotta go with my own style.
The shadows stalk
tell me that this isn't real. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that this isn't real. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that this isn't real. Please don't tell me you don't need me here. Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Broken hearts
been stuck, I see feet in the mud. You have been caught in the flood. While the water isn't parted, we run, we put you so the harvest is us. You have been enjoying life, sipping the syrup and a line in the white. Taking whatever you touch, the sword of the wicked is covered in blood. Welcome to the city of the nonsense. Pleasure is the peace we can find in. Dive in, ride a shotgun alongside the divided. Taking a piece of the pie, takes what was provided. We won't be silenced, the path is wide and we found our God in. Blood, sweat, spit, and these bricks for Babylon. Made from the dust, these souls we trampled on. You have been caught in the flood, I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood, wrapped in the sea right now. You have been caught in the flood, I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood, caught in the sea right now. You have been caught in the flood, I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood, wrapped in the sea right now. You have been caught in the flood, caught in the flood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood. You have been caught in the flood. You have been caught in the flood. We have been caught, I just see blood. Prophecy, gossip, and stuck to my tongue. I could be locked in this occupant, Oculus drug. Opiate, open my lungs, taking the life of the young. Reckless, the cloth that we cut from. Some hung like the diamonds we love. Martyrs, the martyrs, martyrdom don't run. In your family tree like the wind rush. Wash out the sound, we never said much. Don't step out, you might get crushed by the wave that I see. As high as my eye see, like 5,000 feet off the ground. I feel this feeling profound. My soul like dust in the tide. They chanting loud as I drown. You have been caught in the flood, I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood, wrapped in the sea right now. You have been caught in the flood, I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood, caught in the sea right now. You have been caught in the flood, I have been caught in the blood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood, wrapped in the sea right now. You have been caught in the flood, caught in the flood. What you need right now? You have been caught in the flood. You have been caught in the flood. You have been caught in the flood. I be that envious, knuckle-headed, backstabbing, no so petty. No way, there ain't no saving me. Boy, I be too selfish within my method. My tunnel vision so irreverent. Why would anybody pay my fee?
You got me red-headed, causing bad habit. I'm that headache with a bad habit. Got no self-control. Boy, I be that mad hatter with them bad matters. Dag nabbit, causing mad panic. Would you say my soul? It's your redemption for your fraud. Flesh only seems to destroy. See defeat with my ego deployed. Melodies with a cease be the void. Penalty of me fleeing is joy. Have to me when to cling to the Lord. Other half me bringing the ball with the path with the pain that's in store. Finna bring when I bust to the floor. Man, I'm calling to the core. Kid, I'm kinda keep a score on the kind of being kind of the floor. Oh no, that was this again. There that chip again. It's magnificent. This ambivalent. This might be the end of him. Spirits singing hymns, pleasure seeking skins. Bring them violins. This game nobody wins. Giving it to every limb. I'm that villain. I ransack your village. Get my millions up. See you living. My skin turned familiar. The plot thickens up. Corrupted mission. Headed to perdition. Minutes almost up. Lord, please listen. I need your forgiveness. Sick of messing up.
Envious, knuckle-headed, backstabbing, no so pretty. No way, there ain't no saving.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the community broadcast here on IHOLDSHIFT's YouTube channel. My name is Proper. Joining with me is Cruisin', and we have more Elite 2 North American action. You can see happening on the north or the top of your screen. It is Easter versus Wester. East Coast versus the West Coast, baby. I live for this type of matchup, and what's even further more exciting is that Temp will be joining here now that Wester had ended up losing Venom to 100 Thieves. The names are swapped at the top, so we'll just end up seeing that that is completely right. Zaptius is playing for Wester, but the opening breakoff not looking too bad. Easter are able to get themselves a decent amount of time, but most importantly, they're holding on to that P2 spawn.
Yeah, holding on to that P2 spawn, and I mean, they were able to get a decent amount of time there on that first round as well. And I mean, Easter's doing a great job so far. Nice to see some of these players back to a high professional level. We'd love to see John out here, and I mean, it's great to see everybody here. And I mean, if we're looking at this now, Wester is still holding on to those spawns for this next hill, and
yeah, in a good spot. I mean, like, when you're looking at P2, this is a money hill, and all it comes down to is the spread. Where are these Wester players even coming, or these Easter players even trying to come from? Wester set up inside, just not really having many knocks at the door, but nice little pinch angle is going to at least deal with one player from Wester on that hill. So at least you found yourself 2 seconds worth of breathing time, but is it enough? Someone to absolutely say no. Easter still trying to knock at the door, just trying to contest some time, but to no success. Now we're just down to scrap time, and you really got to start considering looking for these exit kills apart from the contested time and start shifting your focus over towards new.
And yeah, we're going to have Wester set up over towards this garage hill to start us off here. Sorry, actually, it's going to be Easter set up. Colors are really messing me up right now, but yeah, so Easter set up over here towards this garage hill. All the players on the side of Wester are going to have to push all the way across this now to try to get into here, and it's really going to have a 3-man setup. This first fight with John, just watching over towards this bedroom, he should be able to spot out this player, and Parasite pushing down, but Parasite's actually going to be able to win the one-on-one. He is going to be the player on the side of Easter running that, on the side of Wester, sorry, running that QBZ. And I mean, he's got a really important role to fulfill with that flex role.
And it was actually interesting. Last time I actually saw this Easter roster play this map mode combo, it was Fellow that was running the QBZ. It was absolutely popping off of it. We'll have to see how that continues on through this break. Temp, 30 seconds remaining. And Easter is standing strong so far, holding every single angle. Now coming in through Waits is going to be Temp. They will be traded on out from Jerb that came down through the driveway. And Easter, they hold strong. They're able to not only tie up the game, but they're looking down the barrel of 20 seconds. That'll not only give them the lead, but middle of the map has been completely conceded by Wester, so that way Easter should feel a little bit more comfortable as they traverse to look at the rotation towards B-ball.
And now Wester's got to try to get a good hold for themselves in here. Temp, unfortunately, on the front line does end up falling. Oh, Fellow was actually able to pick up 2 from that position. So, I mean, that's huge. It's at least going to slow down Wester from being able to set up and get a good hold here from, like, where they want to be comfortable on this map. Now you can see Easter, they're trying to fight this from going in through the front of this kitchen. They're able to win the first 2 gunfights out from the front, but, I mean, Wester has just too many people respawning up in the back to really be able to break that from that position right now.
Too many in the back. Can't break it from the front. 38 seconds remaining and counting on in towards the bank for Wester. Got players like Parasite 1 HP inside of Kitchen. Will at least find one, but information conveyed. Here's some good help that is coming all the way through. Temp finds a big 2-piece inside of Kitchen. Non-contested time at all over by the B-ball court. Gravity was the closest player to be able to do so. It is a great zoning coming out from Wester against Easter, who are now going to be spawning in towards the hill, but look at the rotation on the mini-map over towards the center of the map.
And Temp is off to a great start here. This is exactly what you want to see from a player coming from the CDL to down to the challengers. You want to see him exceeding all expectations, if we're being completely honest, so he can get his best chance to get back out and get back into there. Looking towards this next hard point that is just about to pop. Once again, we have Wester inside the hill, setting up early. But, I mean, Easter are setting up a pinch right now that could very possibly end up breaking this hill.
We'll have to see. Again, P5, that's where dreams are made of, and, well, that's where they end up quite literally becoming nightmares, and Jared is the beginning of that nightmare towards Wester's hold. Finds a nice 2-piece to get themselves plus gravity inside of the hill. Now it's all down to how do you zone away the past 30 seconds. Very tight between these two teams, both past 100 points with 30 seconds still to fight over inside of P5. Temp trying to make some magic happen. Well, it's going to end up having some help. Zaptius will end up taking down Jared. And now the battle for the contest of the scrap time is truly unfolding before us. Pinstripe kill feed, 1v1 from Parasite via Kitchen is going to be better than John at that range. Now as we start looking towards the second set of hills, it's actually going to be close to an even game, but Western still hold a pretty marginal lead over their opponents.
Yeah, I think the only thing that Easter really got going for them right now is that they do hold on to those laundry side spawns at the moment for the hill after this one. But, I mean, if they get zoned out too badly here, you could still find Western getting a lot of time here on this first hill. They still have a player set up in the middle of the map just watching any of that cross. You've got 3 players inside. They all know where these players on the side of the Easter roster are coming from, and they are set up and ready to fight.
And here they come. Jared trying to take very tough gunfights. That's a pretty convincing kill feed. Zap finds 3 of those 4 final blows. 40 seconds still inside P1, and teams have been coming better and better as far as holding this in towards the second set of hills rather than the opening break off and start zoning away their adversaries, keeping them trapped in towards these spawns. Where Easter, these last 2 players, defensively trying to block off over by Garden. Now just 1 off-screen. Gravity does find 2. The rest of the players coming out from Easter are trying to battle in out from Red. You got lurking players from Western, one of which is Tempest trying to chase that kill through the middle of the map. Glowfrosty will lose their life via Fellow for the hard point time, which is still only down to 8 seconds. But now we got to rotate over towards New. On board here with John. Can you end up finding yourself in early engagement? No, you cannot. Will be Glowfrosty and Parasite find the opening too, plus the initial time of New.
Yeah, this is going to be really worrying for the side of Easter if Wester's able to get another strong hold here. That would be 3 hills in a row where they've been able to get majority of the time and just continue to rack this lead up here. They should be able to amass the 200-point mark before even being really contested here with how far out those players of Easter are. You really only have Fellow towards this back line. Zaptius is there to cover him, and now the pinch coming in from the front.
Here it comes. Is it going to be successful? John, good for 2. Nice little challenge. The trade via money is going to be Temp. Jared trying to finesse their life around the pillars. Going to be good to take down Glowfrosty. You still got to worry about the close spawns, though, from Wester. 119 to 196. Wester on the cusp of breaking over 200 points. Gravity, that was certainly 2 mistakes that did not have to be made. And now as we look towards our rotation over towards the west side of the map, Glowfrosty's already over here. Temple will join them. Easter had spawned in towards P2, and Wester are sitting themselves with a very big lead.
Wester is just stringing hill upon hill upon hill together right now. They are doing such a great job of just always making sure they're having their team in the right positions to be able to win easy gunfights right now. And that's why you're seeing the slaying difference so heavily inside the way of Wester right now as well. It's so much easier to sit on a head glitch and shoot down range than it is to shoot people off a head glitch. You wouldn't know that watching the way Fellow just shot him off that, though. But nonetheless, still, you have 4 players still here for the side of Wester. Easter trying to push on in, but Wester with the chance to close it out here.
This is still doable. This breakthrough waits. You got to find this kill. Take down Glowfrosty. This becomes more doable. Now it comes down to Zap over by the water. Zap will take down Fellow. Temp still finessing their life at 25 and 18. 21 and 18 for Parasite. Glowfrosty having themselves a pretty good game too. And Zaptius 21 and 14. They are just slaying out on all 4 corners of this map. 237 to 131. I mean, I guess the one gracious clause in the ending statement towards P3 is that they can't close it out here, but one good break in 7 seconds are all Western need.
All they need indeed, and they're going to choose to make the push in from Kitchen. Just waiting for all their players to be able to stack up so they can kind of double hit this. It's going to be a hit. Oh, they actually have streaks to try to break on in as well. I never even noticed those streaks coming in. So now all the players on West are either going to have to hide inside that little room, inside basketball, or push out into the gunfights that Wester have set up for them. Zaptius is able to find at least one of the pushes on in.
Yeah, Zap able to find one with the artillery strike, excuse me. And then they were able to find another one. I wonder if that was enough to be able to earn the cruise missile. That'd be about 9 for that streak. That earned them that artillery strike in Easter. Or I'm sorry, Wester rather. That time I got confused by the text on the screen. That's going to be good enough for the break. They will find themselves inside of P4, and they will be able to close it out 250 to 151.
And I mean, that's kind of not what we were expecting coming into this. Not with how we saw that last series for both these 2 teams go. So we didn't really get a chance to frame anything up, but going into this series today, both these teams already have played their first match. Wester coming in came off a loss to UT Crew 3-1, where they were only able to win the control. And then as Easter's coming in, they come off a 3-0 win over Aerial Arise. So, I mean, one team coming in hot, one team coming in a little bit cold from their last series. Not exactly the outcome we were expecting there.
A very interesting few weeks for this Western roster and all of NA challengers, and even spicier, I want to say 48 hours almost. I mean, obviously the talks and the trades must have been all happening in the back end for quite longer than that, but even still, when you look at this Western roster historically going back towards the end of Elite One, this is where things started to become very, very interesting for them, is that they ended up picking up Parasite once London ended up dropping them, and this was all after you had this Western roster. They ended up dropping Zaptius. They picked up Phantoms. That means that you had Phantoms, Paul X, and Tom Gravity all on the same roster, along with Zaptius. That was going to be their roster going into it. Then Parasite comes back down, so they go back to the core four. Then Paul X joins London. It is a crazy puzzle that finds themselves with these core four right here. And then the final cherry on top is Venom moved over to 100 Thieves on that starting roster. That means that Temp needs a place to play. So he comes over to join this core 3 roster from Modern Warfare champs now that the other two are playing in the league. And again, not exactly how we were going to be picturing that was going to be coming on out for that raid hardpoint, given that Western just got absolutely obliterated in their first match versus UT Crew. This wasn't a match, keep in mind you, that we had the pleasure of watching not only on this community stream or the main stream, which if you go over there, you will be able to catch up with everything that's happening with Subliners Academy versus Aerial Arise. But even furthermore is that they got worked on those hard points. We're talking about 200 and about 15 some change that they won both of those hard points by. To be able to come out versus this Easter roster who were white hot last time we saw them, that's quite the statement.
And I mean, this Easter roster is no slouch. Yes, you were just naming a ton of former pros on the side of that Western roster. Ton of former pros here on this Easter roster as well. I mean, you've got John trying to make his way back into the league, right? I mean, the rest of them are all very capable players as well. I'm just trying to look over at the roster one more time really quick. You have Felony, who was a pro at one time as well. John, Gravity, like all players who have either been to that very high level. So definitely not sleeping on this Easter roster. We thought they were going to come out and play very well in that first match. Not going to be the case. We can start to look kind of a little bit forward in our series now. We are going to be heading to Search and Destroy on Miami next. And coming into this, both teams kind of doing well through stage one. Western coming in at 1-0 on Search and Destroy on Miami. And then you got Easter coming in at 1-1.
Yeah, overall 3-2 for Easter, 4-2 for Western. So going in towards Miami Search and Destroy, very tough to be able to read how Western are even going to play this map. I mean, you almost got to consider how much practice do they have with Temp, given that these roster changes not only happened with a full days in advance, and they were already struggling with that when you go in towards Elite number 1, coming off of a fantastic run through for Elite number 1, and towards Elite number 2, you have this entire roster change. That was their biggest woe. Then the week had passed, and now we were hoping to be able to see this team in quite dominant form. They're able to do so. 3 of these players still have a lot of time played together over the past week. Now you just have Temp fulfilling that role for the entry role. And as we take a look at our best of 5 map series, you will be able to see the tour guide, if you will, for where we are going for this broadcast. We just got done with that raid hardpoint. If you're just now joining us, Western win that one out 250 to 151. Quite convincing with how they were looking on those rotations. Temp, Parasite, and Zaptius were just unmatched, and Glowfrosty was just set up time and time again. As Cruisin had stated, we will be moving over towards Miami Search and Destroy. Guaranteed 3 maps will be ended out with Control on Ray, but if we need a 4th and 5th map, Hardpoint Apocalypse is upon us, and potentially Checkmate Search and Destroy.
I like the map set, if I'm being completely honest. I'm really hoping we get to 4 so me and you can finally cast an Apocalypse hardpoint. We've been waiting for it. We're licking our lips, and we just want to get there so badly. So hopefully we at least get to see 4 maps out of this whole series here. But I mean, we are loading up into the Search and Destroy now onto Miami. I mean, anything stand out from you going into this?
I'm mostly looking at what the ARs and flexes are going to be able to do. I know that Crossroad Strike isn't inside the map pool anymore for hardpoints, but I will live on this pedestal and always say that you can fit about 5, if not 5.5, maybe 6 Crossroad Strikes inside of Miami. So that's how long these engagements are about to be. It is grueling when you're thinking about the rotations. More grueling than, say, like Arklov Peak from Modern Warfare. You are so punished when you're down to that 45-second mark. If you don't decide that that's the time to rotate through the middle of the street, that gives all the more time for the opposing side to have an AR in that position to shut that rotation down, more or less. You're always putting yourself on that potential. Now we got to make a play happen. We got to commit towards this site, and that could always be a forced error that the enemy team could quite frankly gobble up. So here we go. Search and Destroy for Miami is all ready to go. And when we missed the first round, as we know, our lovely producer of sports still doesn't have an SSD. So hashtag get sport an SSD in your chat. We'll end up seeing a nice little round lead for Easter So take a 1-out lead, and Fellow found 3 in that round. No other analysis needed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not much more that we can really say. It just looked like Easter was, and the side of Fellow was just gunning them down towards the start of that round. Easy enough for them. And now we look at Wester. They're going to try to take this bomb out towards the A site. 2 players are over here for the side of Easter. They're going to have a lot to deal with. It's players Gravity and Fellow. So,
so tough to try to make a play across those sands. You're going to have the coverage of a cross all the way over towards Tiki. That's information, though, Wester. They want this A site. Gravity's in a great spot to try to read this with the Crick 6. Can't lock down the shots good enough for a kill. No trophy system quite yet, but the flak jacket's going to be good. Zap's still alive, sticks the bomb plant. Now into 3v4 with 40 seconds remaining. What can you do? Temp and John, they're able to find unique trades. So now 2v3 for the retake here for Easter. Going to try their best. Flash check won't find any bit of information. You see on the X-ray, Glow Frosty on top of that party boat. Jared has got to try to make a play. John gets cut up all the way through the center of the map, trying to do that rotation, and Wester are able to take the offensive round.
and the positioning that Glow Frosty was in back there, you kind of mentioned it here, and we'll get to see it for the final kill cam. Even if the two players, Parasite and Zaptius, do end up falling there, you have Glow Frosty just set up in an absolute power position on that party boat, and he is just not able to get shut down back there. Honestly, a pretty easy offensive round from Wester. As soon as they were able to get that first tick, that first kill over towards A, it just made it so much easier for them to push on through. And now we look to see them on defense, see if they can get a little bit smarter of a defense here, not just running three people down middle of the map. It's going to be a much more suitable defense for the three players setting up towards B, and you have one player in the very far back for Wester. He's just watching towards this A cross. It's going to be Parasite. He's already taken some shots down, so he knows the information's there. We'll see if player number 8 starts to try to rotate over to give him some help.
Parasite's going to say, this is my beach. I'm the lifeguard. I will defend these oceans with my life. He's going to end up getting some help. Zap rotated all the way over. The bomb carrier of John is still over by the garage. He's now committing the rotation through curve. That control is going to be good for Fellows. He's a player crossing over inside a piano. And now the commitment is going to be called to go back over towards B. There comes that point in time. 40 seconds now remaining. You got to make a commitment towards a play happen. Here's the Semtex. Temp's going to eat it. With a couple shots, too. The regen's not going to come through in time. Glow Frosty's actually going to be able to read the challenge, but Temp still takes down John. And now you find yourself blooded. You got to recover this bomb, and you only got 24 seconds remaining. There's a off-screen engagement happening in between Jerd versus Parasite. Headies galore. Jerd, 19 bullets in the clip. Semtex will be thrown out. Still a battle over by the bomb site as well. Means the trades are going to come through. This is such an awkward bomb site, or such an awkward engagement. Zap is able to help out their teammate, and Temp's able to get the last laugh. So Wester just suppress Easter so heavily. They can barely even move off of their 2-2 setup. Don't even find any information and are able to win the round.
They just had nowhere to go. Like you said, they suppressed them, kept them in the back of the map, and it beautifully called, honestly. They really couldn't do much in that situation. You got to be looking, we're 3 rounds in already. You got to be looking towards Easter. Gravity and Jared both sitting at 0-2, not off to the hottest start here. Definitely want to see them turn it up. I'd like to see maybe even John try to get aggressive, maybe towards this defense up in that piano room. It looks like exactly what we're going to see as they are all pushing in over towards this garage. But that, unfortunately for them, is not where the bomb is heading, as we have 3 players on the side of Wester heading over towards A. It's really only going to be Gravity here who's trying to defend this. The last time we've seen this push from Wester come in here was very, very effective.
Yeah, you see the lone player, at least on the mini-map for Wester. That's going to be Haggy. It's right over by piano for the exit. What a flash. What an arm. He shovel past that, too. That's crazy. But the hit's still coming all the way through for Wester. They want this A site. See, Zap is doubled up now with SMG duo of Temp. They try to push all the way through. Player number 4 is about to have a great line of sight for this. That's going to be Fellow. 5-2 for them. First blood in the round. 40 seconds now remaining. The bomb still being carried by Zap. Quick little look is that John is still alone over by B, but not without being able to find that kill over towards the lurking member of Wester. That was going to be Parasite. So now what do? You're caught over by this beach. I know it's nighttime, but it is burning hot over here, and you're losing life so quickly. Fellow is able to find 3 in the round.
Yeah, and I mean, the adjustment that comes in there from the side of Easter is they're able to push 2 more players over towards the side and just really set up a pinch. Once that first blood comes in and they find the kill on Parasite outside of the zone, it just makes it so much easier for them to pinch on, knowing that there's not one more player back there. And I mean, those players were dead to right. They didn't even have a chance to try to rotate that bomb out, even if they wanted to. easy round there from the side of Eastern. And some good adjustments, honestly, because we saw how effective that first push was towards A from Western that first round. Now you see Easter making those mid-round adjustments that are so important here in Search and Destroy. And this looks like this could have the makings of being a very fast round, and both teams are pushing very quickly towards this B site.
Here we go. John, comeback kid. We'll start on board with them. They have some help up in top purple. Temp really wants this angle. This is an aggressive hold. They try to poke out from top purple. Temp will put them in the blunder. We'll have to see again. Just poke and prod. A lot of tax and lethals being used in that little small area, but still, all 8 players standing. John smokes Temp coming out from top purple. That's a great first blood. That could open up the B site. You still have time if you want to try to commit towards a rotation. Fellow actually is pushing all the way through from garage. Glowfrosty over by the laundry van will be traded on out, and Parasite from range is going to be able to find one as well. So now in a 2v2, Jerd is going to plant this bomb. Zap is so close to try to pop out and make this play happen. They let him play it, but they don't get the timing, and Jerd gets out with his life.
Yeah, but Parasite's in a situation where he can try to pinch onto this. Fellow knows that he's coming, though, and Fellow's able to shut it down. It only leaves Zaptius. They can sit in the back here. Jerd can watch the bomb from that little bridge, so Zaptius has to play this aggressively. I think we've all been in a position before where we've got to try to kill 2 players out of this spot. Everybody knows how tough this one is.
Oh, it's just not happening. No way. You got to save it for you. Look at Jerd just playing whack-a-mole with the poor fella, and then he gets hit from the side. I don't even know what the equivalent of they like. You're at Dave and Buster's. You're trying to play whack-a-mole, and somebody comes over with like a pair of sock and boppers and just decks you from the side. It's just tough. Well, what a brilliant round coming out from Western, or from Easter rather. And again, Western starting off very hot for this map. 0-3 and 0-2 respectively for Gravity and Jerd. But how about through 5 rounds? Fellow on a 6 spree, 10-2 potential to play for streaks.
Yeah, he's got the team on his back right now. Like you said, playing for these streaks. I'd like to see him just slow down and just really try to play for them. Even if you have to, like we said earlier in the day, just throw the round away if it means that you're going to be able to get these streaks, which will very potentially mean that you can win another round or 2 just from those alone, especially on a map like this where that A site is so wide open. Streaks could be used so usefully there. I mean, you're starting to see this bomb move up towards middle of the map, but just a very spread out hit from the side of Western. It feels like they're really just trying to find a first blood and maybe just get a pick to open up a site.
Oh, well, here it comes. Semtex Temp will take a little bite off that and just go ahead and join the rest of their team. 4 players strong through piano. Here we go for Western. Glowfrost is actually committing to the flank over by the base side here on Miami. Jerd's on a great angle. Parasite, nice little jump peek, is able to keep their life. But that's information, though. You're down to 30 seconds. You got to commit towards the site now. Fellow holding the angle through the laundry van will take down Glowfrosty. That was supposed to be the pinch. 25 seconds now. Got to try to make a play. Parasite has the bomb. 3v4. That is such a god angle to be holding on to, says Jerd with an AR. You're not getting out of purple scot-free. John is able to win another gunfight up in that position. And Easter are starting to string together rounds.
And I mean, like I was saying earlier in that round, Western was really just trying to find an opening to get onto one of the bomb sites, and towards the end of that, they just never really got the opening, which made it so much easier for the end of this game. John really just had to sit down there for that entire time. It makes his life easier. And if you take a look at Easter, man, they're continuing on this streak. Fellow's gonna get that first artillery strike in now as well. He is still on 7 in a row. Finally, Jerd's able to find his first kill. It's just crazy to me that they're up 4 rounds right now, and they have a combined kill of 1 player through 6 rounds.
Is mostly, I mean, Fellow and John's winning very tough gunfights too. Potential to play for a cruise missile if you end up getting the plant, but Jerd is the one carrying the bomb. No function in the game to drop the bomb, so Fellow's going to just be looking for the old-fashioned way. And out there positioning, they're mostly looking for curve control. 1 lone player's left behind, though, for the offense, and that's going to be Gravity. They're actually up inside of the hotel balcony, just trying to cover the cross. That leaves a lot of pressure on board with John and Jerd. You can see in the X-ray, they are top purple. Temp's actually going to decide to hit this. Information is there through the wall. Temp just barely able to get out with their life. Still all 8 players standing.
Temp has been caught in that position multiple times today, too. And it's been John every time. It feels like that's killed him. But Fellow, he's going to read that this bomb site is open now. But how open is it really? He doesn't spot out player number 5, who's able to pick off his teammate pushing through middle of the map. Zaptius is able to find one as well. So that's going to leave a 2 versus 3 now for the rest of Easter.
And you got to try to recover this bomb, too. Look where Gravity's at. 2v2 situation. Has great coverage from that exact map or side of the map. It's going to be able to recover the bomb. And now it's just trying to hunt down Temp. You can see they really want to be able to try to find this kill. There's no way they make it to a bomb site in time. Absolutely not. Zaptius, did they get the information? They will see a couple of legs cross. Gravity's got to try to drop down here and plant the bomb, and time is out in 4 seconds. No, went for the reload instead. That suck of a button. I hate it so much. Unfortunately, but Temp is still able to find some kills there in the end. Whoa, what a round.
Wow. I mean, it was just when you thought it wasn't going to be at all possible there, Temp is able to pick up those last 2 kills and win the round there. Oh, great round win from Wester. They needed that too.
That's so unfortunate. He went for the plant. It's the same button for the reload. The game said, you want to reload your gun, right?
He was trying to do it from the top of the thing too. That's the worst part. He landed right on it. Maybe if he lands in front, the game doesn't even read that because he has to look at the bomb, right? So because I think it's because he was looking straight ahead of him, they didn't even give him the option to try to put it down. Very, very unfortunate. Nonetheless, Wester on offense again, heading towards this A site. Now they are being very hard countered at the A site right now. Fellow and Gravity, both with ARs, just trying to watch down this long range of site. And again, you only have Temp over towards that B site. He's just trying to play for exits on if the rest of these Easter players are going to decide to rotate out. Oh, but the
Artillery strike is, going to be called in here. Potentially on the rotation. Yeah, there it is. Explosive cars, absolutely. Parasite gets taken on down, but a few players were able to find themselves refuge away from where the artillery was being struck down. So now back to peace and quiet. Keep in mind, you fellow did not find themselves a kill to get that cruise missile. So all the resources off the table. Still at 12-3 though, and that's just so impressive. I can't stop looking at it. It's crazy. But now we're down to 27 seconds. Here comes Wester, 3v3. They want to push towards this B side. You have no other shot of rotating all the way through. Jerd's in a spot to be able to read this. Doesn't ADS in time to see Zaptius crosses over towards the bomb. Uses the Semtex to clear their cross. You have the angle. Oh, God, the nerdy spot is just not there in time. Jerd trying to chase down the kill. Temp is close. Temp gets the kill on a Jerd. And now here comes the reinforcements. What can you end up doing between Gravity and Fellow? So far, not too bad. 30 seconds left to play. Fellow has a play. That's some great timing to take down Glowfrosty. Here comes Gravity over from the half wall. Gravity's got a sub. And now we're in a 1v2. Temp. He's got to check this. Surely you got to end up turning around to be able to check this in time. Gravity just hopped on top of it. That is some nice ending of search and destroy. What a tried and true strategy. We got 2 players up versus the 1. You hop on it. I'll watch your back.
That search and destroy at its finest. I mean, you kind of expect a player of Temp's caliber to check that bomb maybe a little bit sooner. Just must not have got the timing that he wanted in that situation. And then once you got that player over top, it's almost an impossible situation for him really to be able to win. He's got to push into a player who's just sitting there with his gun ADS. So unless he absolutely smokes him and then is able to kill the player off the bomb, that round is done and dusted. I think the only positive right now for Wester down 5-3 in this map is that you got Temp on 3 in a row, possibly able to play for some streaks. The new guy in town for this Wester roster. See if he can find some. He's back in this very aggressive position, as you called out earlier.
Ooh, Jerd throwing shoulders twice over. Brings him down to 46 HP. Getting that aggressive positioning. You're just hoping it's going to find a kill. There's that variant with the QBZ. Glowfrosty, no scope. No red dot at all. Temp's going to be traded on now. That was their 4th kill, so no streaks at all. Now you're just hoping to be able to win these rounds out. 2v2. Bomb's going to get recovered here. John from up top. Let's try to find the challenge. Running out of bullets to the Diamati. We're going to be able to find it. Absolutely. Had some help there if things got absolutely freaky. But now it's all up to Parasite 1v2. Maybe they might be able to find some time, and the answer is absolutely not. Both John and Gravity took refuge inside Piano. They are looking to rotate to A.
Oh, but Parasite is hot on the trail. He smells a rotation coming in. If he looks to his left, he might just be able to catch that player. John doesn't look like he heard that mantle. Oh, but he's going to hear those shots. Parasite truly in a terrible situation now. Wasn't able to find the kill. Oh, my God. If he can take this kill onto one of them, it would be fantastic. But both players just dancing with their lives. And they close out the game here 6-3 for Easter.
Wow. So 6-3 we go here on the search and destroy. Means that we're all tied up in the series count 1 apiece, guaranteeing us a very lovely time between me and Cruz and ourselves. So we have a date with a hardpoint apocalypse, and I'm really excited about that.
I didn't even think about that.
You're going to tell my cat wants no part of it. My cat's passed out. He's not even having a good time with it. I hope everybody is having a fun time inside the broadcast, enjoying the stream. And we thank you all for being here on this community coverage as well. And you know, it definitely don't forget that there is the main channel that is happening. You can see that. That link is underneath Cruisin's webcam. It is youtube.com/COD Challengers, where Austin and Alan, Visions, and IHOLDSHIFT are bringing you the action of Subliners Academy versus Aerial Arise. And I know on paper, you would look at that, yeah, Aerial Arise are 0-5, but it was 250 to 235. Ulysses dropped a 40 bomb on that hard point, and they still ended up losing. I think like 5, if not 6 out of the 8 players in the lobby dropped 30 plus kills. It was insane. But still, got to get through this matchup here first. Let's go ahead and take a look at the best of 5 map series and set for us. I already had alluded that we're looking at that Apocalypse hardpoint. Well, we got to get through the control raid first. And Cruiser, we got another swing map mode combo ahead of us here to be able to try to take the edge, and the potential of that Checkmate Search and Destroy looming for a map 5.
Yeah, for some reason I feel like we're gonna get the full 5 out of this series. I don't know why, but I just really do. Looking at this is Wester's best game mode coming into week 2 of stage 2. They're sitting at 4-1 right now on control, and heading into raid, they're 1-0 on it. So undefeated on the map, pretty good record in the mode just in general. And then if you're looking at over towards the side of Easter, they're 3-2 in control right now with a 1-1 record on this map and mode. Just it really could go either way, honestly. I feel like both these teams still are just kind of getting used to their new rosters. I really don't know fully what to expect from this Western roster, especially after how they lost to that UT crew match earlier and then come out and just absolutely smoke Easter in that first hard point.
And that's what's interesting, right? Starting off the day, you lost to UT crew 3-1. The only map that you were able to take was actually raid, and that was actually here on raid control. It went to 5, but you're looking on the other side for Easter. They will never not be denied to try to go towards raid. They played it twice so far, and like you were saying, 1-1 on the overall, but they went to round number 5 and still lost it to Built by Gamers. They did 3-0 higher, but this combo of raid on control is quite interesting the way that it does play out. It can be very swing heavy depending on how the middle of the map engagements go, and sometimes timing definitely comes into the favor, given off of where the spawns and engagements start to come all through. It doesn't always come down to the opening breakoffs as compared to their Checkmate and Garrison counterparts.
Yeah, I really feel like this map, honestly, as bad as this one's going to sound, I think this one's coming down to who's going to win their first defense nowadays. Right, honestly, yeah. It feels like raid more often than not is offensively won. Again, it's a lot easier to do now that teams have started to figure these maps out. And I really feel like raid, if you're able to get a good push over towards water off the bat, get a tick or two into B, and then just start playing zone tag, you run over towards A once everybody dies off of B. It just really comes down to having to be successful on your defenses, because when you're on defense on this map in particular, if you can get players into those power positions by the garage, it can really force the opposing team who is on the offense to spawn out where you want them to spawn and make them run very far across the map. So it all depends on which zone the teams are going for first and what they grab and where you're set up. There's a lot of variables that come into it, but as long as you can win your defenses, I feel like you're looking pretty strong to win a map on raid.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Again, it comes down to those disciplined and decisive actions that you decide to do when you do end up finding those kills to the middle of the map. Do you try to just flood into the spawns? How much tick progression do they have on each one of the zones? All these different little factoids. You got to start putting numbers right in front of you. I'm having like a Zach Galifianakis type GIF right in front of my face right now with all the numbers. I wish that I had the ability to do that for you all at home to give you the representation that's going on in my very strange brain. But yeah, going in towards this map is going to be interesting because for both of these teams, when you're looking at both Easter and Wester, at least for the overall, not too bad of a place to be. Wester are currently sitting at 3-2 overall, 3-2 as well for Easter. The middle of the pack for the teams and for what it's all considered to be is quite absolutely open. To when you're looking at the bottom barrel teams such as Higher and a UT crew are able to put themselves a little bit ahead of Higher, being at 2-4. Higher did lose earlier on, so they went down to 1-4 as we're having a little bit of a lobby issue. So we won't go in towards that raid control quite yet. We'll just continue stipulating what's going on throughout all of North America Challengers. But even a team like Aerial or Rise, when you're looking at them in their matchup versus Subliners Academy, no, maybe they might not be able to win the series, but imagine how many maps they might be able to take off. That would upset a lot of different factoids, whether or not Subliners Academy are able to win the series, if they can start getting closer to Fantastic Four for that second place, or even what the rest of the day might end up looking like for first place at the current moment of time, which is Built by Gamers versus Fantastic Four. That's got to be a pretty crazy matchup who's going to end up truly looking at their fourth and final day of matches to be able to see, am I going to be able to hold on strong towards this pathway into the playoff bracket, or am I going to be forced out of the knockout?
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, that Built by Gamers team, we saw them earlier today. They are looking like they're going to be the team to beat right now. I think New York sub. I actually don't fully remember. We got the first 2 maps of that, then it got sent over to the mainstream. Who ended up pulling off that win there?
Subliners. They did it in
Subliners
4.
did, yeah. So Subliners are trying to make their big comeback here with Hydra added to the team. They look scary with all the people added, but we got to get into this match now. And it's looking like it's a Western offense to start us off here. 2 quick kills come in succession towards the middle of that map. So full mid-map control. And I think they read these players over towards B, and they just decide, you know what, hey, let's just start to get some free ticks over towards A. Why force it?
Yeah, no need to force the altercation, right? And Western not in a bad spot. You got Glow Frosty going rogue. They got a Krig. They got some Gunny going, and force free for them off their first life. A-Zone is seeing that second tick of progress being worked on. Now going to be stacked between Haggy and Glow Frosty as they look towards the middle of the map. This should be fully given up if you are Easter. It will be. Don't want to lose more lives on the rotation.
Okay, this is the scary part, though. Yes, I said you want to push players forward on defense, and it's a great idea to try to zone people out. But you have 3 players for Easter right now who are pushed fully forward and past that 50-yard mark. That is not something I've really seen be super successful here in Cold War, because once you're getting these players off spawn, yeah, you might die and get pushed back. Luckily for them, it does end up working out as their players are continuing to spawn down in basketball. But I mean, sometimes that can force you, once these players break in through jungle, to spawn out towards that back jungle and towards Laundry, and it will stop you from being able to get closer to that hill. It really could have opened up a lot of space for Wester. Luckily for Easter, though, able to pick up a lot of those gunfight wins, and now they're able to just close out this first offensive push from Wester towards the speed zone.
Well, I'll say as soon as Glow Frosty goes down, but at least Fellow has not been taken care of over here on the bottom side of Condo. Another challenge. Nice 2-piece coming on through from Fellow. That's going to stop Wester dead in their tracks. A minute 15 left to play. Even Life Stirred, open opportunity to hit this all the way through. Good trades coming all the way out in Easter's favor, but Zap is able to take down Fellow. So that means that Bedroom is in control for Wester for the time being. You know that Easter, for their defensive setup, is not heavily focused towards kitchen and the money window. They want the setup to be going over towards basketball court and inside of Bedroom as well as Tiki. So Fellow wants their position back. They take down Zappius. That's a revenge kill. And they continue to zone away Wester all the way past the middle of the map. Off-screen, Temp is trying to jostle for that position. They will lose their life. And as we go down to 40 seconds, it is only a 3-life lead that Wester hold over top of their adversaries.
Step 1 for Wester to get out, they have to clear out Bedroom. Bedroom's cleared. Step 2, now you got to clear out money. They are able to get into money now, but they got to be able to find these kills into the back of basketball and continue zoning these players out. Look at player number 5, Jerd. Jerd is making a very long flank play all the way around. I love this play. If he's able to get here fast enough, he can absolutely shut down the push from Wester from the back.
All right, well, here we go. Presence is here. Jerd's up top. We'll see Parasite trying to find refuge inside of the Tiki Bar. Clean kills coming all the way through for Easter. Now just down to 10 seconds. Good Scholar try. Going to be coming all out for the 6 lives that are remaining for Wester. Evened up versus Easter. Now just 1 extra respawn remaining for these 2 teams. But the clock, the immediate win condition that Easter needed to win that defensive round.
And like we said coming into this, it really does feel sometimes like on this map, the first team to win those defenses really can be the team that pulls away with the win. And I mean, if you're looking at the side of Easter, able to come out here and go up 1-0 with a win here on defense, that's a great start on this map.
Nothing to complain about. Again, when Raid ended up being announced and it came over towards Control, we were quick to realize that this is probably as close to Control as we might get to back in Black Ops 4, most notably for frequency, how you can always try to reinforce either of these zones. You'll spawn parallel to the other, sometimes just quite literally on top of the next zone, but Easter are able to at least stand by, and now over towards the offense they go. 4 players strong over towards the Z zone. Jared for first blood on the Temp. They're going to leave Gravity behind over inside of Art Window. Parasite will take them down, as well as Glow Frosty to be able to find another, but it's going to be Fellow and Jared that are still having presence over towards A, and that's the second tick unanswered.
Yeah, but player number 3 is going to try to make a pinch in from behind. It's Zaptius, but he gets pinched on himself. Some beautiful shots from John at range with that 74U. Those aren't gunfights that he should be winning with that gun. That's for sure. That was some mean stuff I just seen him do up there. They're trying to make this.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they were trying to make this push over towards B, but very quickly getting shut down.
Yeah, and again, off the opening breakoff is good for Easter. They get the A zone so early that they're just now below 2 minutes worth of playtime. Double positive for Jerd on a 5 spree. John now on a 4 spree is able to find that kill on attempt. Jerd not able to get close enough for the lunge or the shot punch. Skill feed is coming up all white and beautifully for Wester as they hope to keep Easter at bay for this B zone.
But Wester's not going to go down that easy. You see player number 2 still trying to push his way in from the back. He is able to shut down the defensive push, though, once again. And now Wester is able to push all the way up and into the spawn of Easter here. And it just looks like Easter's trying to slow down and play together as a group. But Zaptius is in a great spot to just be able to shut them down just in general. He's just running around inside the base of Easter and just running rampant right now.
Absolutely running rampant right now. Now with 1:10 left to play, though. Try to make a play, try to make your way past this condo area. Jordan John says, absolutely, we got you. SMG presence of mind. Glow Frosty there for the quick trade. John down to 4 HP. Would really love this regen to come through. Doesn't wait for it fully, just wants to hit this. Would really love to find this trade. The information that Parasite is, in fact, inside of money. But they're not the only player inside of there. That's also Zaptius that was lurking inside of that position. Now we're down to 48 seconds. Even life count. And this is just a very interesting setup that Wester have been able to have themselves in. And Easter just still trying to crack it.
Jerd's trying to make a big flank play through here. If he can kill these 2 players inside the hill, what this will do is it will probably force them to spawn out towards that top laundry, and that will open up this water side of the map for the rest of Easter to push on through. And there it is. Callouts come through. Those 2 kills come through. The only player for the side of Wester that's really there to shut it down is player number 2 through middle of the map. He gets dropped as well, and now the ticks start coming through onto the B side.
Oh, John, big kill on the temp, who was middle of the map. They are starting to stack this B zone. 3 players strong. That second tick of progress will come all the way through. Zaptius is going to come all the way through basketball courts. That will be the immediate answer. What a Semtex to come out from John. Gets temp weakened. Easter with a well-coordinated hit. They put all of the stocks into Jerd's flank. Didn't give any bit of information over towards Wester where they were waiting. And then they pounced off that 2-piece to take the B zone. It took them 2 hits for each zone to win it out. That's just impressive.
It's impressive to say the least. And I mean, like you said, they put literally all of their faith into Jerd, who, I mean, how couldn't you right now? 16-8 on a 4 streak, has a chance to get some streaks here as well. And I mean, if he's able to get some streaks here while they're on defense, you got to think there's a very good chance that could put this game out of reach.
We'll have to see if that's going to be the case. Jerd playing that SMG role, especially on defense, can be a struggle sometimes. Fellow, though, quick back on board here with temp inside of red is good for 2. So Jerd gets shut down. 4 spree put to rest. No streaks are going to be earned. Fellow over by the A zone is good for 2. Gravity's going to be the next immediate player. Doesn't want the second tick of progress to come all the way through, but they're hard scoped in the wrong angle. And Glow Frosty will end up taking them down, but that's traded on out. And that John was able to work their way back in towards the A zone. But this is what I was talking about. Parallel spawns coming over by the B zone here for Wester. But nobody read that fellow was in the open staircase, and they also had help behind from John in the middle of the map. So now Zap, last player alive, will be dealt with over towards B. So Wester look to set up for another A push.
I don't think the worst case scenario for Wester right now, though. They have gotten to the lives are even right now. They've gotten 1.5 ticks onto A. They've gotten a full tick into B. And I mean, if they're able to just get some mid-map control here, they can absolutely still win this round. But I mean, Easter's doing a fantastic job right now of just zoning them out and just shutting down any type of mid-hit that's trying to come on in. Good thing as well for Wester, though, the clock is stopped because you do have Zaptius, who's sitting right now on that A site all by himself and just continuing just to lock down some time.
Still 2 ticks of progress over towards A. It's just a solo play for Parasite over towards B to try to work on that second tick. Split the focus. Gravity was able to deal with it over towards A. Now the second tick still being threatened over here at B. Wester really want it. Trying to look at the money window. Forgot about basketball court and over on the other side of the wheelbarrow. It's going to be a good couple kills that ended up coming through in Easter's favor. Glow Frosty quickly answers on back with a nice 2-piece. Jerd, prone, will take down 10. Parasite there for the trade, though. And now finally presence in the clock stop at 31 seconds. Second tick of progress will be gained. It's about to be a pinch. You got player number 8 of Gravity. He's trying to be zoned away in this open staircase. Glow Frosty finds 1 over by basketball, but there's just too many numbers to try to deal with. Easter are still trying to commit to this. Slide challenge, Parasite just better than Fellow, at least in that engagement. And the B zone will be secured 60 seconds out on the board.
Yeah, but now Easter is able to just play out and get those exit kills. They are up 3 lives, but all the side of Wester needs is 1 tick onto one of these zones. But I don't think Easter is going to give it up super easily. 2 kills come through middle of the map. Only 1 respawn remaining for the side of Wester.
It's going to come down to this, you would think. So now they're just trying to double up together, just try to play together, try to play for these kills, almost like a search and destroy round, really. It is a 5v8 situation here. Glow Frosty will find one, but that's quickly traded on out. So the last standing 4 players of Western, these are all the lives that you have left to play, and they're finding the kills to be able to swarm over towards the A zone. They stacked it. That's the A zone. John's going to try to get there. They can't in time. Western just barely keep themselves alive in the raid control with a round win.
They found all of the kills. Every single one of the kills that they needed to find on the outros or on the exit kills from spawn to really get out of here and get onto the zone. They find them all. They're able to stack on in and get 3 people on the hill. And that just makes that zone go up so quickly. And you're going to see Western now come away with with their first round win here. But now here comes the hard part for Western. They got to win a defense here against Easter.
I gotta win a defense again. Very opposite to what you would say about Checkmate and Garrison yet again. It comes down to really who's going to close out that first defensive round. You know, the kill disparity definitely suggests for Easter with how they looked in the opening 2. But you can never count out this Western roster. Starting off here on Parasite, sees 3 players just rushing towards that A zone. Double 7 Tex is going to clear Haggy out from that rock. Hattie never even got a chance at full half of their clip, but the pinch is going to be good. Glow Frosty and Temp are actually able to find 2 kills. Now you just have 2 players left alive over by the A zone. Now just 1. That's John. They're dealt with. Glow Frosty, what a life for them. Now on a 5-3, 25-19, leading the charge for their team. Temp is let loose on a 4 spree as well with a sub in hand. And why not join the likes of Zapdius? Big kill over towards Zig. Is the trade going to be there? Gotta try to chase it all the way through, but doesn't want to overcommit. And Temp's right there for the help. Now on 5 straight. Same for Glow Frosty. The offense for Easter pushed all the way back where they're hoping to try to find an opening pick for an avenue to make their way towards the zone.
Well, I said they needed to win a defense, and I mean, starting off with a 6-kill lead is a fantastic way to go about trying to do it. Only issue is you do allow 2 full ticks of progress to come in for the side of Easter towards that A site. So now Easter can try to put their full attention over towards B here. They're able to get a couple kills. If player number 6 can win this last gunfight, it's going to open up the entire avenue. And here we go. Easter now pushing on in towards the site. Zapdius is going to get ripped off the head glitch as well. This should at least be the first tick going in towards the way of Easter on this B zone.
Trophy system still in play there too. Temp's position scouted out inside of money. They will be dealt with. Parasite now from the basketball court. 10 HP, can't find themselves a second kill. Second tick of progress will be gained over here at B, same like it is over at A. And you might just have to give this all the way up, given that John is finessing inside of Kitchen, is going to be able to find that kill. Regen not fully there, but it doesn't matter. Still able to gun down Parasite the moment they step foot inside that room. 60 seconds added onto the board for Easter, and they only need a tick of progress over at A.
And the lives are even now. Down 6 at one point in this map, basically back to even. You're going to see the side of Easter trying to push their way through this laundry side of the map. Just try to bully their way through the rest of Western here. As they get these kills, that should spawn the side of Western down towards basketball. It's exactly what happens. You can see where Parasite just spawned up on the map. But Parasite's going to make the overextension, go through the middle of the map, try to shut these players down. But Easter is still just running rampant right now. They're finding all the kills, and they should be able to push on towards this A site now.
Oh, Tom's got a sub too. That's nasty stuff inside of red. And now the presence over here at A. The stack is going to be good for the 3rd round needed to close out raid control. Easter lead the series now 2-1.
And we're heading to an apocalypse, which, I mean, who knows what we're going to get from apocalypse. But I could not be more excited to head into this final, or not this final, but into this 4th game mode. What a map that last control was. Very, very weird control map, if I do say so. I felt like this teams were playing it not so much as like the normal that you would see. So it's kind of nice to see a little bit of a switch up come in there.
You go back to that offensive round win for Easter, and again, the disciplined play to wait for Jerd to commit to that flank. It really started to feel like search and destroy in certain instances of a few of those rounds. They were waiting for the commitment play for Jerd, found that 2-piece on the backside of basketball court. There was the go. You saw all of the arrows just leave condo, leave the middle of the map, and just stack that zone. It was just so cool to see the coordinated play unfold from Easter. And the same thing could be said about Western when they were down to just their 4 remaining lives for the offense. It was not enough. That was the only round of control they were able to win. And now they got to be able to win it here on Hardpoint Apocalypse to send it to a checkmate search and destroy. And if you're looking at this as a Western fan, maybe you're not feeling too confident about this. I mean, you didn't play this map that you lost versus Higher with Temp. But last time that you ended up playing Hardpoint on Apocalypse, you lost to Higher 250 to 142. So you're just hoping that there was some VOD time to go over in between then and now with this core 3 of Parasite, Zapdius, and Glow Frosty, that they're able to help create some space and be able to keep the pressure onward. Because when that ends up happening, like what we saw in the raid Hardpoint, Temp can absolutely slay out.
Yeah, and so I mean, for anybody who's not really aware of how this apocalypse map really works, it really feels like those last two hills, 4 and 5. If you're able to really get that left side of the mini map just down covered, you can absolutely try to rack up a ton of time there. From what it feels like, those two hills, and I'd say maybe even hill number 2, can absolutely be a very strong money hill on this map. It's those ruins, man. that ruin side of the map, both those zones, I feel like they are going to be very tough to break for both teams.
Yeah, same for P2 could be said, because you do have that very unique little cutout wall through stones that you could end up looking all the way over by P4, right over by that broken statue of the ruins outside from Palace of Courtyard. It's just very interesting the way the line of sights end up working, as well as when you're looking to break inside P5, if not hold it, because you do have very different angles than what we're used to as far as many different maps that have been played out. I think the one that almost comes to mind very specifically that we saw such a ladder like what you see over by the trench that leads up to TV. It would almost be like frequency in the middle of the map back in Black Ops 4. Very awkward and unique gunfights. Can find yourself in an opportune moment to try to block the spawns. I mean, we've seen it happen over by P2 when it first happened in CDL. Trying to fight for that bath and then rug position can end up really blocking out the spawns to break inside the strongholds. But you're absolutely right. There's so many good money hills here on Apocalypse, and teams are only going to get better at it too as the weeks go on. Because I mean, we've been playing on Apocalypse, scripting it for all of like a week and a half at this point. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to be able to see what these QBZs here in North America between these two teams of Eastern and Western can really offer to join with the sub pressure.
It's always crazy when you get a map that offers like that higher and that lower sight lines as well. Like that's going to be crazy. Like you mentioned, it's very, very similar to frequency in the way of you can have players drop down underneath below, catch you off guard. You can jump up from in behind. It's those, once you get into those types of maps where it's just, you need to have players who are able to just adapt to every single situation. I feel like both these teams have that. So it's just going to come down to just raw gun skill at the end of the day, especially on a map where both teams are probably not super practiced yet.
Well, we have all players left inside this lobby, so I guess we'll get to see how well-versed and practiced they are just here in a short moment. But let's talk shop and get you all caught up on the rest of the day, unless you are sitting here watching both streams, which I definitely suggest. If you go to youtube.com/COD Challengers, you will be able to see potentially the conclusion of Subliners Academy versus Aerial Rise. Subliners Academy currently 2-0 up over Aerial Rise after winning the Express Search and Destroy 6-2. On the other side, UT Crew were able to 3-0 higher. So on the day, higher. Not exactly a great day for them. They will end 1-5 overall. That is just one series win better than Aerial Rise, sitting there in the 7th position. Would love to be able to battle on back for 6th place, though. If you are the likes of, say, UT Crew or any of these players, any sort of split or gap that you can get in between 6th place and the knockout bracket positioning all the way down to the relegation is fine breathing room indeed going into the final day. But we're all ready. We're loading into Apocalypse Hardpoint, at least for the first time for me and Cruisin' as a caster. I can't tell you, I've been nerding out over this map. I know Cruisin' is aware of this. I was geeking out in the call before we even started this broadcast this morning around, I guess this afternoon at 3 p.m. here Eastern, but still, this Apocalypse Hardpoint map, it grew on me so fast. It is so fun. Well,
it looks like our lobby may have dropped, unfortunately.
all of that hype for absolutely nothing.
Way to go, Proper. You could have done so much better with that, man.
I try my best. When it comes
the
down
lobby
to
drop.
just building up all of the hope, I love just to tear it all the way down. So we're going to throw things just to a very brief break. I'm going to go ahead and DM the players, see if everything is all square. If they're still playing it through, we'll get inside that lobby. I promise you, Apocalypse Hardpoint on the other side of this small break.
This is a song about a strong girl.
good now. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that very unfortunate technical difficulty.
No.
And well, Easter are looking pretty darn strong as far as this hardpoint is concerned. You missed us losing our absolute marbles to the P5 hardpoint of how it flipped about 5 times in total. And Easter, again, with this marvelous lead that they hold over Wester, again, with the series count tipping in their favor, are looking to continue to command over inside of the P2 side of the map is where they really started to get a good things going in the first set of hills.
Damn, I felt good during that first half of that cast too.
It was nice.
Unfortunate errors, and now we're gonna head over towards this P2 hill once again. You can see Wester. They're trying to break on through this temple side. Easter. This is where they were able to get majority of their time through that first set of rotations. They need to be able to shut down this first push to be able to hold down these spawns in the back right side of the mini map. Jared has a big job to do. He's going to be the first player to fall, and a pinch is now developing from the front and the back for the side of Wester. But it gets shut down so quick from Easter.
And again, that's the play you gotta do. If you're from Wester's perspective, you gotta get into Bath, and you gotta block through rugs to get inside the palace, to get in towards P2. It's so hard, and that costs so much time. About 30 seconds it had already gone through before the play might have been able to stick, but they lost so many lives before they even had the opportunity to try to block the spawn. So now Easter are spawning Wester out over by P5, some lurking over by P4, but the real narrative here is that Easter are up 210 seconds to the 105 and counting up from the scrap time. John finds 2. Over, under, in P5 they go, and the initial time for Easter, given how the final gunfight of P2 went, will be there for the initial time of new.
Let's not forget, though, this is we did see Wester break on into this very quickly, but John didn't have streaks last time through. Can he find the last? Yes, he does. 8 in a row. John absolutely popping off here in game number 4. He wants to put this series away for the side of Easter. He does not want to see a game number 4.
Wants to close it out here. John continuing, streaking on out, fully spreed, and that 9 spree will now finally be rested. Fellow, quick trade onto temp, pinstripe kill feed, still good for Easter. 234 to 108. It's looking so convincing on this hardpoint, and that time was really built off of P1 and P2, but now Jared finds 2. Has a QBZ and help from behind. 6 bullets left in the mag. Fellow hits it from the center of the map. That'll be the final nail in the coffin as Easter close it out 250 to 108 here on the Apocalypse hardpoint. They win this series 3-1.
Can we just say welcome to the John and Gravity show? Both players absolutely popping off. I think they both finished right around double positive. Just insane game from your flex player and your main sub on the side of Easter, and it really put it away there for them. Just a clean victory there. And I mean, they're showing like they have what it takes to be able to win Apocalypse hardpoint if it comes time and time again with how well they were able to string P1 and P2 together to get the majority of their time.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that P1's pretty traditional, right? It's pretty out in the open. Your first immediate cover when you are playing that OBJ is that APC, that truck that is smack dab in the center of the map. But you also got to be aware of those cross angles. If you do have those P2 spawns starting off where you saw Easter, then you can quickly work your way into the ruins, and through Chicken Coop, you have that nice little cross angle. Plus on the trench side, it was just so well executed from Easter. The blind trust through a lot of different hits, the coverage of the angles, reading of the spawns. You can definitely tell that they are well versed in this map mode so far. So let's go ahead and take a look at our best of 5 map series now that we are done here on the evening, just to be able to give you a beautiful finale for the evening in between the East Coast versus West Coast. So it came up for the Easter side, but it started off all Western, 250 to 151 on that raid hardpoint. We got in that Miami search and destroy, and Easter just could not really be stopped. They were stringing together rounds. They were finding kills and trades where I didn't even think it was possible. And then the control raid, absolute dominance, winning the first 2 rounds. A late resurgence, just not enough for Wester to only being able to win out a single round. And the hardpoint apocalypse was anything, it was all but convincing. I mean, the 250 to 107 scoreline was massive, and that really just goes to show you what it looks like. I would already poise it for Wester that they were already 0-1 on the map count. They lost a higher 250 to 142, and then this one was even more convincing when you're going up against the SMG lights out show that was Jared and John, but even more so too. Fellow with the Craig 6 QBZ, I don't even care. All 4 of these players for Easter just absolutely snapped in these last 3 maps.
This Easter team looks good. John wants back in the league proper. He wants his spot back that he never fully lost. He is he's doing everything he absolutely can. And I mean, he's playing with a very good Easter team. I wouldn't be surprised to see these guys pop off and possibly be able to win this whole stage out, honestly.
Well, we'll have to be able to see that. We have 4 more matches left to play in round robin before we end up seeing who's going to be split apart, who's going to be relegated, what are we going to see for the playoff bracket and knockout included. The coverage for the community stream plus the main broadcast. Make sure you show some love as I Hold Shift, Visions, and Infinity are covering that on the main channel. That's at youtube.com/COD Challengers. The coverage here as well on I Hold Shift's YouTube channel will continue at the same time tomorrow. Starting off with EU, it's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern, so set your clocks. Make sure you got caffeine. Make sure you got some good food going and some good snacks because it's going to be a marvelous day. On behalf of Sport on the back end for production, thank you so much for joining me, Cruz. And I'm not going to lie, I don't get really many opportunities to be able to do this, leading a broadcast on an I Hold Shift YouTube. And I hope you all enjoyed yourself. It was a fantastic broadcast. Thank you so much for showing love for the community. And until then, I hope you all keep holding it down.
So you try